did I do that? Oh shit, Ninja vanish.
A lot of people don't know this, but you gotta clean your innie because it can stink.
Yeah.
Make sure y'all watch it out. Watch it out.
Yeah, I remember.
Whoa! Popeyes have came out with a glorious new sandwich that rivals Chick-fil-A.
Join us! Come! It's a party! Take a little sip. Come, please. Take a little sip. Come, please.
What up, ladies and gentlemen? It's your boy, Fatal J. Now, y'all might be wondering, where's Dark Council? Well, this is like a Fatal J live / Dark Council show. You know what I mean? So that's what we're going to do up in the building. Thank y'all so much for coming out. Continue smashing that like button. You know what I mean? Brother Man is up in here. What up, everyone? Salam. I usually wait until show begins before clicking like. So my bad. You need to hit that like now. You know? Demolish that like button. Yeah. We got somebody in the back. D, what up?
What's going on? How you doing?
Doing good, brother. Doing good. How was your week? How was your day?
My day was fantastic.
Yeah.
I actually had a day off for once.
Yeah.
I had a day off for once, but you know, it's crazy to believe that we're going into Easter. By the way, happy Easter, happy early Easter to everybody.
Have you noticed the older that you get? Have you noticed the older that you get, the faster life is?
Oh yeah, 100%. You know what it is? Because I think it's because it's relative to your age. Because when you're 5, all you know is 5 years. But when you're 25, you know 25 years. And every subsequent year to go by that, it gets crazier.
Shout out to my wife for buying me this Show Enough shirt. The greatest villain known to man. Do you know who Show Enough is?
I know you ain't asked me that question.
Who's the Master Leroy?
You know I got the clip on my channel. You're going to ask me, do I know who Show Enough is?
I need some Show Enough clips on the Fatal J channel, most definitely. But yeah, I love this dude. I always told myself it's 2 cosplays that I'm going to do in my life. One is going to be Beast from X-Men, and 2 is Show Enough. Probably going to do Show Enough first, though. And you know what? If this dude wouldn't have died, I think he died like in the 90s. It ain't no telling where he would be at right now.
He died relatively recently.
No, he did not. That dude died years ago.
In 2000, he died.
Man, hold on. Let me look it up. Sure enough, actor. I'm supposed to pull it up, and you better be right. Here you go, right here. We're going to see. Here you go, right here.
I'm almost certain it was in the 2000s.
Julius Carey. Okay, when did he? Okay, let's look up Julius Carey. Julius Carey. Let's see what happens. Oh, you right. He did that in 2008. Hey, man, you kind of smart.
Hey, I know my pop culture. I know my pop culture.
2008.
It's part of the job, baby. It's part of the job.
They extended Texas for another week here in New Jersey. So what about your area, Last Dragon?
Say what now?
What up, Fox?
What's up, Fox?
He said something about they extended Texas for another week here in New Jersey. Isn't it Tax Day or something? I don't know what they're talking about.
Oh, I already paid mine. Man. I hit my account up in March.
Yeah,
gotta do it early. I I don't waste no time with that. I don't know how people drag their feet on it. I know you don't want to pay Uncle Sam all the time. I don't. But you just got to do it. Take care of it. Get it out of the way.
Look at the downfall, though. Look at the downfall when it comes to not paying your taxes. Look at all the millionaires. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's why you gotta make sure you keep your receipts. Keep your receipts.
Keep your receipts.
You gotta do. That's the biggest advice I can give anybody.
All right, D. What the first topic we're gonna be talking about tonight? This is another new look at Superman. Now, I love having you on the show because you mostly a Marvel fan. Now, I know you like DC too, but I like to always hear people takes that like Marvel a little bit better. So this is it right here. New look at David Corenswet, Nicholas Hoult on the set of Superman. Now, I want your honest opinion of your boy Superman, David Corenswet is Superman, and Lex Luthor when you look at this picture. Just give me the honest truth.
I mean, look, it just looks like a picture of them chilling. I'm still torn on that suit. I mean, right there, you really can't see it well. I like the direction of it being a brighter suit. I never was. I mean, when I look at the Christopher Reeve Superman, and he has that iconic suit on.
Yeah,
I didn't mind Henry Cavill's suit, although a lot of people said, "Oh, it's because he didn't have the the briefs on the outside, the drawers, as you like to say."
The drawers. I hate the drawers.
But I don't know. I think there's a way you could have modernized that and not have it look like draws. I don't know. But I'll be fair. I'll be fair with you 100%. I said this on my team. I don't know if you was in the chat when I said it. It's 3 movies, actually 4. Now I think about it. Sorry, it's 4 movies this year that I'm going to go in the theater to see. One is Mission Impossible 8 because Haley Atwell's in it. The man, I'm going to see Thunderbolts and I'm going to see Fantastic Four.
Thunderbolts come out what next week, right?
Is it? I don't know. It might be.
All right, we got another Superman lover. Superman lover. We got another Superman lover in the back. Pause. The Iron Fist, Mark with a C. What up, brother?
Woo! What's up, fellas? What up, chat?
What's going on?
Good?
What's going on, bro?
Mark,
Right about now.
I know you had a long one. Pause.
Brother.
Speak on it.
What's that?
Speak on it, brother. I said, I know you had a long one. Pause, but speak on it. Long day.
Oh, I was off today, so that's the reason why I'm actually able to be here.
See that? See, we both. That's why we both here. You see that, Mark?
You know what I mean?
We both had a day off,
bro. I never ever have a day off in the middle of the week. Ever, never happens. So this is something special right here, man.
Yeah.
I was wondering why everybody was on time. I was wondering.
Yeah.
Hey, this is
just like the old days, man. If only we could get everybody up here. I want a reunion, man. I want
man. I want one too, man. I miss everybody. Callis, where you at, man? Callis, I know you out there, Callis.
I might can make that happen, fellas. I got a birthday coming up, and I might can make that happen this month. And the funny thing about my birthday, it lands on a Wednesday. It lands on.
Look at that.
So maybe I can make Callis feel bad about himself. And
he said it.
So who knows? I might could bring the band back.
Hey.
Maybe I could bring the band back. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. I mean, we all do the best we can. I mean, you know how it is, bro. You know what I'm saying?
I know people got families. You know what I mean? I know how it is.
Because people out here be messing with me, man. It's like I see some of these other content creators. As soon as a story drops, 2 seconds later, they're making a video. I'm like, y'all must got no life at all, man. It's like everybody. It's frustrating as hell because everybody beats me to the topics. It's like, okay, when can I get around to doing this video? Oh, there's already 8 or 9 people doing videos on that topic. You know what I mean?
That's why I try to skirt around some of the things and kind of I try to touch on things, pause, that not necessarily be the main thing. I know it's a tricky thing to do that because you want to ride the algorithm. And what's crazy, when I was sick, remember when I was sick those a couple of weeks ago? The first video I did was on Assassin's Creed Shadows, and I got some good movement on that, just because it was the hot topic. And I normally don't do that, but I was sick, so I was like, let me just do something that I think is gonna pop off, and it just went. But I generally like to try, even though I try to keep it main event, current events. I try not to be exactly everything they're saying everybody does, just because of the fact that I know that everybody's jumping on it. Because I'm working. I'm at work when they dropping their videos,
Word up. Same here, bro. It's like, I mean, we got that in common. I very rarely talk about what's in the regular cycle as it's happening. It's like I usually just have other observations, all like entirely separate from that. But it's still just seeing people like, I just heard about it, and here goes, you know what I mean? Notification. I'm like, okay, man, people running with stuff, half knowing it. You know what I mean?
You got to put it in perspective. So the people that's doing that are doing YouTube full time, or they got a part-time job. Yeah, that's the only reason why. That's the only reason how you can do that. It has to be a full time job. You can't do this halfway and do like what we do. Something could drop. Something crazy can happen at 12 midnight, and they get the notification and have a video up. You know what I'm saying? And I can't do that. I got to go to work.
Well, you got to realize too, a lot of the YouTubers are actually companies. The companies invest in them, and that's why they can drop that so fast like that. I figured it out a long time ago. Like I don't know if you guys familiar with Grace Randolph. Y'all know who Grace Randolph is?
Yeah, I know who Grace Randolph is. Yeah.
Okay.
Goofy blonde chick. Yeah.
She's backed by a company that's under Warner Brothers, and they invest in her channel.
Yeah,
that's why she gives such glowing reviews and everything. You ain't gonna go speak bad about the boss.
Yeah,
and if you do it, you're gonna use kick gloves. That's what you're gonna do.
Yep, to make it look nice, to make it look right.
But anyway, like I was gonna say, I do want to see this movie, and I want it to be successful. Like I said in my video, we need competition. And right now, Marvel has zero competition. That's why they suck, because they got too much in their head. They're too big for their britches. They got all these successful movies up until Endgame, and obviously you had a few one-hit wonders here, like with Spider-Man, of course, with Deadpool and Wolverine. But they got too cocky, because they think, I can just put out Agatha all along. It's gonna be. Come on, man. You got to stop it. DC needs to be. They need to have a yin to their yang, so they can actually feed off each other and start giving us real good content again. That's what I believe, and that's why I hope this movie is successful.
I'm with you, man. I think Marvel just lost their passion, man. I don't know if it happened when Stan Lee kicked off, but it just seems like right around that time. Of course, we all know after Endgame, it's like I just don't feel the inspiration the way that it used to be.
Correct.
Like it used to be, you could almost feel them saying, we can't wait for the fans to see this. You know what I mean? Like, we can't wait. We're going to blow their mind. It's like, now it's just like, we'll give you whatever the hell we want. I mean, we watched She-Hulk. She-Hulk just gave us a big middle finger, just straight up and down. So it was like, you don't even feel the love anymore.
Correct. Hey. And She-Hulk is one of the most popular female superheroes in Marvel Comics. How do you mess that up?
She like top 5 female. She top 5 female in Marvel, and they screwed it up. But have you guys been watching Daredevil?
I have not. As again, I lost passion for it, man. I lost passion for it, bro.
Hold on. Trash! How did they ruin that show?
That's why I didn't want to watch it, because listen, going in, that Netflix Daredevil set the bar so freaking high. I mean, that first scene when you see Kingpin come in and basically decapitate a dude with a damn truck door, I'm like, okay, this show's gonna be crazy. That's gonna be crazy. And then then the next thing we get, like, how you go from that to have him do the walk of shame from She-Hulk? Once that happened, you lost me. No matter how I like the actor, I like the character. I mean, he did a great job. And then as soon as they did what they did with She-Hulk, you knew there was no way they was going to fix that. Zero chance.
I'm supposed to show y'all. Go ahead, Mark.
No, it didn't make any sense. It's a complete tonal change. Like what Demayo, it's like what you're saying. It's like 1 minute you got this gritty, ultra violent, edgy Daredevil over here. Then the next minute, he's walking down the sidewalk, just got through smashing She-Hulk. I mean, just the optics of it was wrong.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? You can't unsee that now.
Listen, I don't mind him, maybe hooking up with one of the, because that's the other thing too that you said very eloquently, Mark, and even like in regards to like Captain America. Falcon America. It's where you don't even have a love interest. It's nothing wrong with them having a love interest because that gives them the human connection, right? I don't mind Daredevil having a connection with Jennifer Walters, but how you perceive them. Him walking barefoot through the thing with the suit. Come on, bro. That's not Daredevil.
I'm supposed to show y'all.
If anything, he should take the damn suit off and walk home regular. You know what I'm saying? Nobody knew who he was.
Though. Watch this, D. I'm supposed to show you. Now, Muse, they pumped him up in the trailer like this was the brand new big bad baddie in the Daredevil new series. Watch this bullshit right here. You notice something so far?
I don't know. They fighting. I don't know.
He whooping his ass. This dude was so weak. He never did land a single punch on Daredevil throughout the whole thing, and he was only in 2 episodes.
Was that supposed to be his new love interest?
Yeah, that's his new chicken. I ain't gonna lie. She kind of, let me see if Miss Fatal.
I like the side eye.
Make sure the coast is clear, bro.
Okay, when the last time in a Marvel movie or TV series had the hero just came in and just started beating the big bad baddie down like that?
Yeah.
Just name one movie or TV series.
I mean, you're supposed to have some kind of fight for him to beat it. Like that. Like I always say, especially every movie is supposed to have some form of conflict. Even a romantic comedy has some kind of conflict because that's the human thing that we have. You don't go through life with cherries and rainbows, right? So, but I always say, especially when it comes to a superhero, genre type thing, your hero is only as good as your villain. If you don't knock that villain out of the park, your movie's gonna suck.
Well, here's the question, because I haven't been watching this and I'm not familiar with whoever this is over there.
Me neither.
Muse. So my thing is like with Batman, if you see Batman drop down on some thugs in the street, he's gonna whoop their ass, no contest. But is this guy supposed to be a big bad is the question.
He posted. He whooped. Mark, I swear you read my mind. He's beating up on him like he's a regular thug in a comic book movie show. This is the big bad.
Oh well, yeah.
All right, let me continue. Trash. Let me continue because y'all might think I'm lying. Did he land any punches yet? That's all I'm asking.
No, sir.
Show is trash, man. And I've been getting into little debates with people. The Shields. Oh, this show is good. It's just a little slow because they're building the story up. No, sir.
No,
How many episodes are we in so far?
8, and this week is the finale.
Oh, so we got 9 episodes total.
See, unlike Penguin, right now, I went into Penguin as a hater, and Penguin kicked.
I still didn't watch that.
You know what I'm saying? Penguin kicked my ass. It's like if you can't pull somebody in after like 7-8 episodes. I would give it like 2. If you can't pull somebody in after the first couple of episodes, then you're not saying nothing, bro.
Correct. And Brother Man Other man to you says Muse is a big bad. Muse is actually almost as good as, or even better than Daredevil. So yeah, so if that's the case, that makes it even more egregious that they did it like that.
What did brother man say?
He said that Muse is supposed to be just as good, if not better than Daredevil.
Yeah, and they dropped the ball. It's like Mark said, man. It's like they giving up, or maybe we just growing up.
I don't think so.
Nah,
because,
man,
like I said,
that's not
Penguin rock my world. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if and like I said, I went in there like, oh, come on, bruh. You know what I mean? And it blew my mind. You know, so I think that if something is good, if it's inspired, you're gonna feel it, man, because that part of us never grows up. The part that read those comics, the part that watched the cartoon, it never grows up. I think that's what makes us so special as geeks, because that always exists in us. So if you can tap into that, we're always going to be receptive to it. Ain't no such thing as burnout.
Yeah, that's true.
Exactly. Perfect example, Fatal. Listen, I said I haven't watched any of the Marvel stuff, but I'm constantly watching anime. And anime, while it does have, like, there are some things that are kind of repetitive, especially if you've got like an isekai or something like that, where you have your main character who's kind of overpowered. That kind of does over, but they still manage to sell it and captivate me with their story, with their surrounding characters. That's how you got to be able to you got to build your world. And that's one of the things that I hope that James Gunn does right, because by me watching anime, an anime does have a main character trope. I mean, an overpowered main character trope. That's the thing in anime. My thing is, he needs to know how to do Superman so that he can. Superman is supposed to be overpowered. That's why I was who was I talking? I was talking with the Force Light girls, and I said I didn't like them showing Superman in the Yamcha position for the first scene. Now they was like, "Oh, we wanted to show Superman that he could be vulnerable because he's not." You know, you can show Superman being vulnerable without him looking vulnerable. Having his human connection, the people who's around him, is what makes him human. That's what gives him that human vibe. So you can show Superman being vulnerable without showing him beat up. That's the thing. Now, if you're gonna have, and by the way, he can get beat up, but don't have it be the first damn thing you see. You understand? That should be something that's hidden in the movie and give you a shock value. Oh my God, Superman got beat up. It shouldn't be the first thing I see for Superman. That's the one thing I have a problem with what they're doing here.
You're dropping a lot of truth bombs right there, brother. I mean, I think that's one thing that Superman and Lois got right. And also in us. Yes. And I've always said in Superman 2, people underestimate that one line by Zod when he says, "This Superman is nothing of the sort. I've discovered his weakness. He actually cares." Like, that's his weakness. He cares for these people. And she's like, "You mean sort of like a pet?" And he's like, "I suppose so." Like, they can't even imagine like why someone with his strength, practically a god on this planet, would actually be vulnerable, because he's in a position where he actually literally cares, you know, and that will always be his weakness, because he's always going to have to hold back. You know, he's always going to have to be vulnerable to whatever threat is threatening Superman
hardly ever goes full throttle because he is holding back.
Yeah,
he never. I think the only person he really went full throttle on was Darkseid, and Darkseid, he deserves to get full throttle, because you know, if you want to talk about full power Darkseid, even Superman can't beat him. He's just his avatar that he could beat. You know, so that really would be like, you know,
but then you know your lore, bro. A lot of people don't know that about Darkseid. It's like when you see Superman or Justice League fighting Darkseid, you might be fighting his pinky finger. Correct. You know what I mean? That's just a representation of Darkseid. So when people compare Thanos to Darkseid, you can't compare them two. You know?
No.
Yeah, and you know, Superman. I mean, brother man, to you, Superman is not human. Just playing human is a really interesting dynamic. You know, and I think that's something that I think Zack Snyder tried to tap into that a little bit, you know, but I think that's one of the most interesting things about the character, you know, like Batman. You know, like how much of Bruce Wayne actually died in that alley? You know, whereas like how much of his humanity is hiding behind the cowl? You know, so there's always something psychological going on that I feel like whoever taps into that, who's doing the movies, they're going to knock it out of the park. They're going to get something that takes it to the other level besides just slugging it out, you know? Otherwise, they're going to get overshadowed, which tends to happen by their eccentric supervillains. You know, those central characters are very interesting too.
You brought up a good point right there, Mark, with Batman. I think Batman is an interesting concept when you think about it, because him and Superman are almost like the invert of each other. However, while Superman puts on the Clark Kent is his mask, right? Clark Kent is his actual mask. He actually is Superman. But when you think about Batman, is the Batman his mask, or is that his reality? Because, like you said, how much of them died in that alley? You know what I'm saying? That's a very. I don't think anybody ever touched on that on that type of level, though, because when you look at them too, if you look at them, they almost are the mirror opposite of each other. But are they really? I think Batman and Superman are very, very close in the fact that their superhero persona is them.
That's dope.
And their civilian is the mask. You know what I'm saying? I don't think we said
you're right.
That's a good concept.
You're right about that, because think about it. Peter Parker is still Peter Parker when he wearing that mask. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But Bruce, when Batman is Bruce Wayne, he pretending to be Bruce Wayne.
Yeah. Yes. He's what he should have been, you know, if things hadn't gone wrong. He's got to somehow pretend to still be that person. Like what happened in that alleyway didn't forever change him, didn't forever break him. He could technically be called crazy. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, you know what I mean? And
that's true.
Like, you know, I love it because, you know, there's something in him to become the Bat. There's something in him that just cannot rest at night. He can't sleep like the rest of us. You know, it's like he's got to go out and somehow tell himself that what he's doing changes or could change what happened in the past, but you know, it never will. You know what I mean? But he does this every night. Dude is literally insane. And so his rogue gallery of villains, they're reflecting that, you know? So like I said, it's the deepest thing in the world, bro. So it's like, I love it when another writer or something like that takes a crack at it, because I keep waiting for them to delve a little bit deeper into that, you know?
Because think about it, all Batman villains, when they get caught, where do they go? They go to the Arkham Asylum.
Arkham Asylum. Yeah.
But it's like you said,
it's almost like he's crazy. You're right.
He's crazy.
And the thing about it is, if there was no Batman, there would be a rogues gallery. So which one came first, the chicken or the egg?
But then think about this. But think about this, though, D. Think about this, though. This is how you know Batman is really crazy. You can kill off Joker and it'll be completely over. But do you want it to be over?
Yeah.
You want
he
it
keeps
to be
him alive.
Over? He keeps him alive, you know.
And I've always said, you know, introducing Robin into the story is a very tricky thing, because it is part of that insanity that he has that would take him in and have him do what he's doing. You know what I mean? Like it's actually a darker story than it seems to be, the Batman and Robin dynamic. But I would love to see it, because you can still do it with, you know, Robin being, you know, humorous and stuff like that, but it's still dark, you know, like that's the one character I don't mind being as dark as possible, you know, is Batman, because when you really think about what he is and why he is, that's dark, bro.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Check this out. This is from Mike DeLuca. Mike DeLuca is like, I think he's the second in charge when it comes to Warner Brothers. But this is what he had. And I want y'all to pay attention to one word he said about the Superman movie. James Gunn's Superman will have a lot of heart and humor and jaw-dropping action sequences, says WB's Mike DeLuca. It's so epic and visually arresting and emotional. The performances are great. It's a 5-star movie. Now, of course, he's not gonna say this movie is bad, but the part that I'm focused on that have people kind of cringe is a lot of heart and humor.
Yeah.
Now, when you look at the Reeve Superman movies, those had humor in it too,
and a lot of heart.
Yeah.
I don't mind that, but because it's James Gunn, if you had, well, let's say Abu Nas here, he would be saying, well, it's just going to be Guardians of the Galaxy. It's Marvel stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whenever people see humor, the fear is that they're going to make it gratuitous, like you see with the MCU right now.
Yeah. I don't think so, though. I think James, this is his first for everything. This is his first as a CEO. He going against the competition, and surely this man is not going to make this a goofy movie all the way through. But I do agree with D. Why did you show him getting his eyes kicked?
Correct. It shouldn't be. That shouldn't be. That could be in the movie. I'm not going to say it shouldn't be in the movie. It just should have been in the trailer. It shouldn't have been the first thing in the trailer. That should be something that should have been a shock value.
Beat down.
Yeah, he has to. We know. There's no way. Look. We understand. Look, that's why. Like I said, Superman never goes fully out. Right? We know that he never goes full throttle. Again, that's his mask leaking into his actual, persona. Right? We get that. We also get like what I just said. If Superman is on a level of gods, you got to have a villain that can hurt him, or there's no tension there. You have to have something like, either it's a physical hurting him or mental hurting him. But they have to be able to hurt Superman for it to have some kind of tension. You have to have that. So I'm not saying he can't be vulnerable, he can't look vulnerable, or whatever, but it just shouldn't have been the first thing that you see for the trailer. That shouldn't be the first thing you see for the trailer.
Well, also what didn't do them any favors was the first what was it? The promotional vision that we got of him, that image where he's just sitting there putting on his boot while you see the laser beam out the window. Like that kind of turned a lot of people, including me, off because so now you got that coupled with him getting beat up, and it's a little bit underwhelming. You know what I mean? It's like you really want to see that that triumphant Superman like busting through a wall at some point, but I don't think we've gotten that yet. I mean, we got like a few images of him stopping an explosion, saving a child, stuff like that. That's good. But
I like when he saved the little girl. That looked really cool. And I hope we get more sequences. I think James Gunn was trying to give us that. I got the picture of the Doomsday vibe where he all beaten down, and we supposed to be like, oh, what happened? But it was the exact opposite with the audience because they ready to see that hopeful, motivational Superman that we've been waiting on. Because don't get me wrong, you guys know I'm a Snyder fan, but I do agree when it comes to Zack Snyder, he had a lot of flaws with Man of Steel. No way, no how is Superman ever going to let his father die if he could save him?
Nah,
it just would never happen.
Yeah.
And he wouldn't have that whole collateral damage that that Zodin was doing in the city either. He would have pulled him away from that.
Even a wretched human being that might not have a relationship with their father, if you see your dad dying and you got the power to save him, you're gonna do it.
Yeah, absolutely, no question.
So Snyder dropped the ball on that one, and I think what James Gunn is trying to do is do everything opposite of Zack Snyder, and it's kind of hurting them a little bit. But I still think this movie is going to do $1 billion in the box office.
Well, it was also the shift in tone when you see him beat down in the very beginning. He's beat down now. Even if you're sitting there wondering, "Oh my God, what happened to him?" Then they kind of play it up for humor because here comes Crypto, and it's like, and it's kind of like now it gets silly, So he's beat up, but you're playing it for laughs, so you don't even know what to think of this,
Yeah, because when the first trailer, I was like, oh shoot, but then when the dog hopped on him, Okay, is this laughable? Is you doing too much with my emotions with this character?
Yeah. You know,
Like,
because that's
And
somebody.
Mark, you brought up a good point with that.
Speak on it, D.
You brought up a good point with that. That first promotion with him putting his boots on or whatever, and the whatever that the alien shooting the beam out. They could have made that thing stand out so much. They just would have showed him punching the beam. You know what I'm saying? Like have him, you know, at least stopping the beam. You know, that would have been cool. They could have had that same. They could have had Lois. They should have had Lois looking in that perspective where we were out the window at him blocking the beam. And I think that would have been a much more exciting promo picture than him putting the shoes on.
that should have been like the third or fourth promo picture.
Yeah.
Because we don't ask for much. Just have him change it in the damn phone booth. We're not asking for much, man.
Hey, and you know what? That would do a whole lot if you kept it retro like that. Because let's say you show people in danger. You know, they're running, they're desperate. Who knows what's going on? And here's a phone booth, which, I mean, look, no generation today even knows what a phone booth is, right? But because it's so retro, here's the phone booth. You see him coming out. You do the good old-fashioned opening it up. You see the S, and you got something to cheer for. It's like people like to cheer. I mean, we've seen, damn, man, we saw Minecraft. People losing their minds cheering. People want to be in there losing their minds. You know what I mean? We might want to talk about that later.
Did you take your son to see that?
Because that stuff has gotten out of control, but we'll talk about that later. Go ahead.
Did you take your son to see that?
No, but he did. But he did. He went to go see it with his uncle and his cousins, and he said, they were losing their mind. See, I never played Minecraft, but they did. So
yeah, me either. It never was my thing.
That's my son generation too, Mark. Because I think my son and your son the same age, and I can remember my wife buying my son the Minecraft poster. He had the game. I never did pay it no mind, so I knew it was a big deal with that generation. You know?
Yeah.
Y'all kids want to cheer.
Y'all kids are the same age as my niece, so yeah, that's the same generation. Because like she loves, like I don't know about Minecraft, but I know she loved Fortnite. So that's all.
Mark said it best. If it ain't video games, cell phone, or streamers, they don't give a damn.
Yeah,
they don't give a damn.
And I believe Minecraft had the streamers on there, correct? I think they had cameos of the streamers in there. I heard something about that. I wouldn't know.
I heard about that. It's like they stayed very true to their audience. They know their audience. And see, this is what I'm talking about, man. It's like, you know, being that I'm old, man. I can go back. I have memories of the 80s. It's like the 80s was all about feel good. It was all about cheering. You know what I mean? And I think we could do well to tap into that a little bit more. Like for everyone who watched the Rocky movies, it's like everyone knows what it means to see your hero get knocked down. And when he gets back up, that's when you go crazy because you feel for him. You want him to win. And a hero like Superman could use some of that energy. Yeah.
Hey,
we want to cheer for him,
man. Speaking of 80s, Mark, it might be going back to the 80s. And I'm gonna show you why. I'm gonna show you why it might be going back in the 80s. Because we get into this AI game, and motherfuckers is losing their mind.
What a classic right here.
I mean, we getting to that point where you can make your own woman.
We were just talking about that, bro. Oh my God. It's unbelievable what's happening now.
Yeah.
Yo, you know what's kind of crazy though?
Just truth be told, if you could make something like this, would you do it?
If you could.
And just think. She don't fight back. She don't argue. She do everything you tell her to do. Would you?
I gotta watch it. I gotta watch this movie again. It's a classic. She's alive.
This was the first movie
I'm not going to confirm or deny what I would do.
I already know what you would do.
Look, man. Imagination is a funny thing. The way it inspires a man. you know, for any, I don't know if we have any artists in the house tonight, you know, anybody who draws. It's like, you know, when you first are drawing and stuff, inevitably you are going to draw your dream woman. You're going to draw your dream figure. You know, I know I grew up drawing, and I damn sure did. You know, when I started to go through my changes and stuff, it's like I was drawing all types of stuff like bang pow, you know, and it's just how it is. So to me, this is an extension of that. If you have that imagination and that ability, yeah, you're going to start doing stuff like this, man.
Yeah.
And by the way, I know this is off topic, but the way Kelly LeBrock looks is exactly how the original April O'Neil looked, and they kept trying to say she was black, but that's what the hairstyle and everything she had. That was a style back then.
Man, I got into an argument with Tom from Midnight Edge today, and he was saying that the curly hair wasn't canon. I'm like, yes, that is canon. I got the Ninja Turtle comic books. Now, she did start out looking like the April O'Neil we know, but after a while, Kevin Eastman, the creator, he gave her the curly hair because it was based on his first wife. His first wife had curly hair, and she was half black. She was half black.
Yo, Phantom Beat, you crazy. He would make a beer canister that never gets empty and always cold. Priorities, my friend, priorities.
That's a pretty good idea.
I feel you, though. I feel you.
Demayo, thank you so much. You don't want me to read it? I won't read it. I won't read it. But you know what I will do? I will blow you up. Mark, you right. I did the same. I would use science to do real work, make a beer canister that never gets empty and always cold. Weird Science is AI without advanced modern day technology. That was the first movie I ever seen Robert Downey Jr. in.
Yeah.
Y'all remember he was in that joint?
That was when he was
still he was young in there.
Downs.
Yeah, he was young.
That might have been slightly before. Yeah, because he had a hard time too, man. You remember back in the day.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he was on it.
I think it was the last movie he did before he disappeared for a while was Natural Born Killers. I think that's right after that is when he went off the deep end. He was in Natural Born Killers. I remember that. And then after that, I didn't hear nothing about RDJ until like Iron Man from that point.
Actually, probably Tropic Thunder, I would say. You know what I mean? I think that was before Iron Man. Right?
I think it was after.
No, that's when he. No. You're right. So that was right after Iron Man. That's when he started to make his comeback. I think Iron Man came, and then let's look at it. Let me look at the dates. Hold on, let's see. I'm pretty certain.
While you looking at now this is Robert Downey Jr. audition for Iron Man. This is what got him on. I looked at this joint, and I'm gonna be honest with you.
Hey, you know what's crazy?
Hold on,
my fault.
When I looked at this edition of Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man,
you mean it's Dr. Doom? You mean Dr. Doom, not Iron Man?
Bro. I don't know how he got the role. Maybe y'all will think different.
You mean back then? Oh, that's an Iron Man test?
This is his first Iron Man edition. And to me, it was trash. But I guess as the film happened, he got into the character. But let's just watch this. I could be wrong. Let's just check this out.
What's up? And action.
Oh, Mr. Stark, you have been described by some as a Da Vinci for our time. What do you have to say about that?
Da Vinci, ridiculous. I don't paint.
Oh, and what do you have to say about the fact that Stark Weapons is responsible for millions of deaths since World War II?
Oh boy, let me guess. Berkeley, Ms.
Summer, and it's Brown.
Okay. Well, listen, Ms. Brown. It's an imperfect world, but it's the only one we've got. I assure you the day weapons are no longer needed to keep the peace. I'll happily transit to manufacturing bricks and beams for baby hospitals, making hemp pants and the like. But until that time, can I get you a drink?
You rehearse that much?
Yeah, every night in front of the mirror before bed. Why, is it stale?
Well, I can picture that.
I could show you firsthand.
Sorry, I don't laugh at your jokes. I haven't been paid to like all the DoD fat cats in this place, Mr.
So
Stark.
stick around. You'll be on payroll soon enough. Call me Tony.
I'm sorry, Tony. I was looking for a more serious answer.
Okay, you're serious. My old man had a philosophy. Peace by definition means having a bigger stick than the other guy. So I feed the good dog. We arm the good guys because you can be sure as shit someone's arming the bad guys.
Nice justification coming from the guy selling the sticks.
You mean my father?
Dry as hell.
I mean, this is a test. This is a test, though.
But it ain't dynamic, though.
Yeah, but it's still a test. I can't judge it off of a test, though.
When you go back and watch, I know this.
When you watch it, I know this scene. When you watch the scene, yes, it pops. It pops because they're actually doing the scene. But right here, just like it's like more like testing your lines, almost. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, man.
But anyway, real quick, just so you know, Tropic Thunder came out the same year as Iron Man. So that's when he came back. That is when he came back. So it was from Natural Born Killers was the last thing I remember seeing him in, and then he came back in 2008.
I see why he coming back as in the MCU. He owed that to his career, because if it wasn't for Iron Man, we wouldn't know about Robert Downey Jr., man. We wouldn't know.
I mean, we would.
He was very see, the thing about him is that I remember he was the it guy when he had so much potential. Like he burned himself, with what he was doing and everything like that. But the world was pretty much his, because the roles that he was doing, the potential that he was showing, there was a whole lot of promise there. He
was a part of that what they call it, the Brat Pack in the 80s. Like certain actors like Amelia Estevez and all them dudes.
Yeah. But
I think he was River Phoenix.
River Phoenix. I think he might have been a little bit young for that, for the Brat Pack. But I think what it was, if you look at that test screen, I think his eyes, I think he's selling a lot with the fact that he has been through a lot. Like when I found out that they were considering him for the role, I was like, that's good, because Tony Stark is kind of that way. He's kind of remember in the comics, he's an alcoholic, he's been through some things, so I thought Robert Downey Jr. would bring a lot of that. Like you can see it in him, even the way he did a little bit of sniff there. I don't know if that was even supposed to be there, but when he's talking, he does one of those things. And it's kind of like, I can see it, man. And it's kind of the same way that I liked Ben Affleck as Batman, as Bruce Wayne, because he's very troubled in real life, so I knew there'd be something underneath his acting.
Look at the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man fight screen test. Is crazy. Check this out right here. Now I did a video on this week, and man, you know what? AI is a gift and AI is a curse, because this image came out and the guy, it was a Facebook user. He admitted that the Jason Momoa set photos was generated through ChatGPT, and I should have known, because AI is I use it every day, but even I got tricked. So what you guys think about this? I should have known, because his suit, the suit he has on, that's too damn basic.
AI is just getting way too good right now.
Yeah, we got to watch it. AI, like that's now it's got to, you know what the worst part about the AI that always gets me a little worried is, you remember Running Man? Remember how they got him? They faked him, doing harms to all those people, and then put him up into the Running Man thing. Who's to say that can't happen in the near future?
Oh, it can.
You know what I'm saying? That
100%.
You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. It's crazy when you think about that. Especially now with everything, everybody's like this with their phone, and we say, "Oh, we got you all you got to do is just have somebody hide the phone, then AI over it. You can make whatever you want it to be, just like that." That's the part that's scary for me. So I will be one of those people that would say, while I love the First and Second Amendment, I won't be protesting ish, because you won't catch my black ass out doing anything, because I'm gonna be here playing PlayStation.
Yeah, hey man, you got to be so careful, bro. That's why I like to be as personable as possible in my videos, and it's unpredictable because you know something. It's like we're like you said, we're giving like a lot of face time to this technology thing, you know.
Correct.
So
what we're doing right now.
Yeah, they could duplicate any one of us, but there's certain things about each of us that I would be looking for to say, yeah, that's Fatal J, or that's not Fatal J. There's something wrong with Fatal J. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he wouldn't do that. He wouldn't say that. He wouldn't lean that way. It's just, you know, there's just different things. You got to be as real and as human as possible today. Don't be as robotic. You know, don't be as predictable in your thinking, and you know, just don't be as easy as a lot of people are out here, man. Because you know, we're not as unique as we might think we are. Is, you know, a lot of us are going with the flow way too much. You know.
Yeah.
But you know what, Mark, you're exactly right, because even though AI is improving every day, it's still something off about it.
Oh yeah.
It's still
100%. You can see. You know what's the thing you always gotta look for now is the hands. AI is terrible with hands for whatever reason. The machine can't do hands. So I always, the first thing I look at a picture, look at the hands, and obviously look and see if it's too crisp, you know it's AI. Like if you see, especially if you see a woman and her skin is flawless, bro, it ain't enough makeup in the world you're gonna make your skin that flawless. Not all over, maybe your face, but not your whole body. You know what I'm saying?
I wonder why for some reason on almost all the AI pictures it can't get the hands right. I don't know what it is about the hands. If you have 6 fingers, because you know that new Thunderbolts Marvel poster, they found out that was AI because it was too many fingers.
Yeah, that's a consistent problem. But once they get it done, that's going to be a problem. See, but what you got to do, it's true what they say, man. The eyes are the windows to the soul. You know, it's like you got to see the eyes, because in the eyes you'll find humor, you'll find objection, you'll find dismay. It's like all types of stuff. You got to keep eye contact, man. You know what I mean? It's so very important, bro.
It's crazy. Important. Like, you know, you made me think of right there. What was that? I Won't Get You, Sucker. And you got to look at like the woman would basically took her whole body off, and she was like one-legged hopping around. Like that's what AI is for people. It's like you get this fake pretty woman, and you got to make sure you take off all the digital stuff and make sure, is that a computer? Oh, there you go. This one right here.
And y'all know. It's like if you're sitting across the table from a woman, right, and you trying to figure her out and everything, what's like in those eyes will tell you whether a no means yes or a no means no. It's like you got to be in those eyes, bro.
It's all about the eyes. Yeah, that's true.
This looks like AI when I'm looking at it. As soon as you look at it.
Well, they said that the character Sentry at the bottom, he had too many fingers.
Oh,
1, 2, yeah. It looks like they cut it off, so you can't see it now.
They cut off the 6th finger. Can you see it? The finger that he got like this, it got too many fingers on it.
Yeah,
and they tried to be slick and cut it off.
Oh, it's May 2nd. Oh, good. That's I'm actually listen. I'll be 100%. I'm interested in seeing that, largely because I like Sebastian Stan as Bucky, and I don't mind Yelena White Widow. I don't mind her, even though the movie she was in was garbage. I don't mind her. The other people, whatever. And I do like the Red Guardian. Red Guardian was kind of funny in the Black Widow movie, so I'll give them that. But like I was telling, I don't know if you was listening, Mark. I said there's only 4 movies I'm actually interested in seeing this year, and that's Thunderbolts, Superman, Fantastic Four, and Mission Impossible 8. Those are the only ones I'm really even slightly interested in seeing in the theater, I should say, because I can see them, but in the theater. So, but yeah, those are the only ones I want to see. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, superhero movies. I mean, honestly, there are some other movies out there of different genres that do look kind of interesting. Like, you know, later on this week, I do plan on seeing Sinners. You know,
I want to see.
I got beef. I got beef with Ryan Coogler. I mean, we know this.
I do too.
But what is that? I heard somebody talking about that.
We'll talk about it, but I want y'all to check out this. This is the last Thunderbolts trailer. Let's check it out.
I'm starting to think maybe you don't know what I'm capable of. Maybe I need to show you.
No one messes with the Thunder.
You thought you were gonna be some savior?
The sense today.
That's what they talk about!
I was starting to think maybe.
That's pretty much it.
Mm-hmm.
D, what is your prediction for this movie?
You know what the budget was for it? 150 maybe. I'm gonna just give my prediction based off of its budget. I'm gonna say maybe 350, 350, 400. That's me being generous. It looks like I said when it came to Falcon America, I had zero interest in that. So, but this, I mean, and that's even going by whatever they were showing. Like, if you take the way they promoted Falcon America versus this, it's like night and day when you're thinking about it. So I don't know. I'm still, like I said, I'm so torn on Marvel right now, but I'm gonna give this a shot. I'm gonna give him a shot. I'm gonna give him a shot.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a shot because it looked like it might be dope. I don't think it's gonna do big numbers in the box office. Do I believe it'll make its money back? Yeah, I do. But I don't think it'll do anything past 400 million worldwide.
Yeah, that's what I said. About 350. Yeah. So and that's what I said. If it had $150 million budget, about that 354, that might just barely break even. So I don't. This ain't hitting the billion. It ain't hitting the billion. That I can tell you, it's not.
I got a theory that this is kind of like, okay, Stark is dead, Black Widow is dead, Hawkeye's retired, Thor, goofy, Hulk, he goofy. Let's bring out this team right here so we can have another Avengers type team for Doomsday, for Avengers Doomsday.
You know, one of my biggest disappointments because you just mentioned a character that you said is basically goofy. How you gave us this is the problem with Marvel because they hop right to 2012. You have to understand 2012 is when Disney purchased all of Marvel. That's when that happened. Because remember, the first Iron Man was Paramount. It wasn't Disney. It was Paramount. So in 2012 is when they got Marvel, and 2015 is when they got Star Wars. And they both never been the same since, right? Never been the same. But my point being is, how you go and give us the Red Hulk, which again is 2012, as after anything after 2012 is Disney owned and purchased, and we don't get Mr. Fix-It. I mean, you gave us Smart Hulk, right? Which is after Mr. Fix-It, but you never gave us Mr. Fix-It.
D, they didn't have enough faith in what's the actor name? Anthony Mackie. They didn't have no faith in him. I was just talking to a friend about this weekend. If they would have never showed us Red Hulk in the trailers at all, how hard would that would have hit when you seen that movie?
Correct.
You know what I mean?
Bro, listen.
There was nothing else to sell it on, though. What else happened in that movie? Nothing.
You got another Falcon. You got a Puerto Rican Falcon. Is that what it was?
But Mark, you right. But that just shows you got a trash movie.
Yeah.
Listen, if you can't have your star of the movie sell your movie, that means that shouldn't. This is why I can't stand the swappings and the pandering, because they did this in the comics. Let me ask y'all. When was the last time anybody picked up a Falcon America comic? Anybody? Anybody in the chat? Anybody pick up a Falcon America comic?
Not here.
What up, Abu?
No,
that's my point. So they tried it in because that's their go-to.
What up, bro?
Oh, those are the comics. Again, 2012 comics doesn't count for you. Because you got what? When did Marvel initially start? What, 1950s? Because I know
it was a while back, bro.
Yeah, it was 1950s, maybe not.
Did y'all know this? Real quick, and keep that point. I did not know this. Cheadle the one that brought it to my attention. Okay, the character Black Panther.
Mm-hmm.
I thought Stan Lee and Jack Kirby got that from the Panthers.
Mm-hmm.
But Black Panther came out before the Panthers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So did the Panthers take that from them?
Probably.
Most likely. Yeah.
They were the black superhero. He's the black superheroes of the. Yeah. So what I was saying was that being that Marvel's been around for decades prior, and you're hopping on your 20s. I get it. You own the property. Same thing they did with Star Wars. Oh, we own the property now. We do what we want with it. That's great. It ain't selling shit. Okay, it's just not. Like, you need to go back. You bought these for a reason. You paid $4.8 billion for Star Wars because you wanted to make $8.8 billion in 10 years. That's what you wanted to do. But you would have had, again, trying to make a boys brand into a female brand, which is what you were saying earlier about the Minecraft movie. The Minecraft movie played to its audience. Just like how they had the Barbie movie play to its audience. The Minecraft movie is doing that, playing to their audience. That's all you got to do with comics. It's not rocket science. It's not rocket science. That's my point. Like, you're going to give us the stupid, smart, freaking, which, again, Smart Hulk in the comics is a freaking awesome concept. I loved Smart Hulk. All right? I loved it, right? Because especially when you talk about how he became smart, which they don't tell you, he became smart in the comics because Doctor Strange helped him out.
Yeah.
That's how he became a Smart Hulk. But he also had the Gray Hulk, Mr. Fix-It. Why did we not get that? Oh, my God.
Mr. Fix-It is dope. The one
That's what I'm saying. Yes.
Yeah, he tight.
This is why we totally skipped over that.
At the core of the Hulk, like, you have to be able to plug into. You got to be able to plug into what made these characters classic in the first place. Like you're saying, you can't fast forward past all the good stuff.
Correct.
To all of the stuff that happened in the comics to be politically correct. Like, there was a lot of things that happened in the comics that was some bullshit. You know what I mean? Just because it happened in the comics doesn't mean that it's all golden. You know what I mean? Like with the Hulk,
correct.
You really shouldn't fast forward past the fact that this started out as almost like a horror comic. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, he turned into a monster. You took away Rick Jones. Like, there's a real dynamic there. Like, Rick Jones was he was guilt-ridden because what happened to Dr. Banner only happened because of him. You know what I mean? So it's like you took a dynamic away from that character development that should have always been there. Like, you can't skip over that, man. You know, not only did they skip over it, they didn't even acknowledge it. I don't think
correct. They didn't acknowledge that at all. No,
never had a Rick Jones.
The way they did, because of course, remember, you had two different versions of, actually technically three different versions. You had the one before Ed Norton. I forget who was that other actor's name.
They always made it seem like he was
Banner.
with Betty. Betty was a scientist.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, so you had the Peter Lang, what's his name? Andrew Yang, whatever. Whoever did that one before Edward Norton. So you had that version, right? And then you had the Edward Norton version. Edward Norton version was basically the origin of the Bill Bixby one. They had him in the chair.
Right.
Remember how that's how they didn't have the explosion that he went to save Rick from. You know what I'm saying? So they never showed him in there, which is, I'm glad you mentioned that, because even I totally forgot about that because they never showed him. I totally forgot about Rick. And he actually got some Hulk powers later down the line too, but still.
Yeah,
but it's just crazy. You're right. They skipped over all of this stuff to give you the 2012 Marvel, the all new, all different Marvel, and that's where you got your Miss Marvels, your Captain. Well, let me correct myself. The original Miss Marvel was Carol Danvers.
But
she was Carol Danvers.
It used to be Mr. Marvel. It used to be a man.
No, it was Captain Marvel. It was Captain Marvel. By the way, Captain Marvel. Yeah, but the whole thing with that was this: they couldn't give her original origin story because her original origin story, she got her powers from a man.
But Captain Marvel is a man. He was a man.
I know. But that's how Miss Marvel, the real Miss Marvel, got her powers was from Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
And they retcon her story now too, because now she's a Kree. She's half Kree. I'm like, come on, shut up.
Like, but yeah, makes them think that messing with this stuff, messing with a winning formula, what makes them think that it's going to give them anything other than a loss? This is a winning form. It was given to you. It was put in your lap. The only thing you have to do is adapt it faithfully for the big screen, and your audience will be there.
Hey, he right.
Actually, the original Hulk was the Gray Hulk. The first Hulk was gray.
No,
First Hulk wasn't black. He was gray.
Hey, now listen. Y'all both right, D.
And he wasn't built. He wasn't built. He wasn't jacked. He was big, but he was more like a monster. Like you said, Mark.
D,
he was more of a monster.
Listen, y'all both right. The first Hulk was gray, but Marvel canon says that the first Hulk was a black man. I read the story before. It's almost kind of like this Hulk right here.
No, it wasn't.
Like, listen, man. Isaiah, this is like Isaiah Bradley.
Yeah, I know.
This is like an Isaiah Bradley Hulk.
It's a retcon.
But I'm just saying, so y'all both right. The first Hulk was gray, and this Hulk in Marvel canon was the first Hulk. And I like that character.
Who the hell is this? Matter of how, let me do it right. Let me do it right. Who?
I'm telling you, I got the comic book somewhere. This dude.
All right, so like what we're looking at there is supposed to be the Hulk, right? The Black Hulk, right? That's what we're looking at with the bling.
He said the first Hulk is black, Tyrone Crash, period, not no damn gray. But brother, man, this is what D is saying. When they first created the Hulk, Stan Lee, Jack Kirby, all them joints, the Hulk was gray.
Yeah.
Look, I don't know what that is, but I reject it. Okay, like I said, I'm not looking at no Hulk with bling,
said white Nick
with shades on. Nah, bro, that's Mr. T right there, bro.
Well, Nick Fury is white. That's the original Nick Fury.
Nah, that's what Kai mean. He said he's first white. But I mean, hey, now let me ask you a question before we go on commercial break. Do you agree with Samuel Jackson race swap?
Oh
gosh, man.
Okay, we always preach that race swaps are bad.
Yeah. So let's be 100% right. So that was when it wasn't the trend. It wasn't based off of it. See, we're getting these race swaps now, and they're making it about the race swaps. They didn't make it about the race swap with Nick Fury. That's what makes it worse now. Yes, it's stupid. Yes, Nick Fury originally is white because you can't. His brother was a Hydra agent. You can't have. How's Nick Fury's brother a Hydra agent? The one who actually gave him his eye, it was his brother. That's the one who actually took us. Not a damn cat. His brother was a Hydra agent. How are you Hydra and you're black? It's not. It doesn't work that way.
But D,
so his original Nick Fury was white.
D, you are absolutely right. But let me play the advocate. The first MCU movie, I think Nick Fury was in it, or was it the Hulk? When did Nick Fury first show up?
The first MCU movie, it was Iron Man.
But Iron Man 2 is when Nick Fury popped up, right? Iron Man 2.
No, Iron Man 1. It was Iron Man 1. It was a post credits. He came and he says I'm putting together a team. That's when and then in the end of the Hulk, that's when Tony Stark went to the general. Okay. The Incredible Hulk is actually part of the MCU, even though it was Paramount. I mean Universal, and that's the reason. And that's the reason why you don't get a Hulk movie, because Universal owns the rights to the Hulk.
But I heard this theory though. Technically, The Incredible Hulk is the first MCU movie.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. It was the first one.
Because when they made Iron Man, they didn't have no MCU in mind.
No.
From what I'm thinking. Okay, now listen. This that defeats my whole point. My whole point is this. Nick Fury showed up in the beginning of the MCU. So should we be mad that they constantly doing race swaps when they started off doing race swaps?
Sure. Look, Nick Fury, I mean, first of all, there's a difference between Nick Fury and say like your mainstays like Captain America or Superman or Spider-Man. I mean, it gets to be out of control after a while. I mean, we're not going to act like he's on the same level as that.
Correct.
And
he's a supporting character at best.
Yeah, and even still, yes, the original Nick Fury was white. I wouldn't be mad if they put him back to being white because, look, after a while, Samuel Jackson is just playing Samuel Jackson. He's not even playing Nick Fury anymore as it is. You know, and from what I understood, the comic that mirrored him, they wanted Samuel Jackson to play him. That's why they changed him. Like it was kind of tailor-made for him. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of like a weird example there, because I think they had it in mind that they were going to do that with Samuel Jackson individually, specifically.
So the Black Nick Fury, what is that? Crap. Because I have. Hold on. Give me 1 second. I got to get some actual facts for you. Give me 1 second. I'll be right back.
Do y'all realize that when it was over for Nick Fury character? When it was over for the Nick Fury character is when we got this right here. Look how they did that, man.
Bro, I was out by that time.
After we watch Winter Soldier, this is what we got.
Can I just say something? I mean, I hate to be sensitive about this, but Abu Nas is giving me my props here. He's saying facts, Mark. And look, you guys know, look, I've been 10 years, I've been marked with a C for a reason. Now, my brother, I'm not going to let you get away with that, of all people, spelling my name wrong, bruh. All right, it's M-A-R-C. It's marked with a C, Abu Nas.
Don't worry,
you are my brother.
Don't worry, Mark. I got him because he disrespected. So you guess what, Abu? Meet your cousin. Just straight disrespectful.
Hey, that's hitting below the belt.
So Kai, I didn't go to my comic book collection, but I went to the second best thing. So, once upon a time when we used to get games that were completed, we had something called Ultimate Alliance. The reason I pulled this game out in particular, because this game was the first game that I saw Black Nick Fury. This game came out in 2006. So this is way before any of the message version of race swaps was happening. And the Nick Fury here is from the Ultimate Universe, which is the universe that they eventually pulled Miles Morales from. So he's from the Ultimate Universe. So
yeah, that's right.
They're actually in this, the Black Nick Fury is a skin that you can put on, because you have the white Nick Fury here. He's just an additional skin you can put on him. So his came out 2006. So it's been way, way before the message version of swapping, because right now it's all a divisive tactic. And I will say, real talk, this was the litmus test. They were trying to see if people would notice it and care. That's what started it, was this. And then you got the actual Samuel L. Jackson, Nick Fury's on the screen. You got the Heimdall, was Idris Elba, which people forget. He's a race swap too, because, I mean, when you think about it, if you want to be fair, while there probably could be some black Asgardians, it is a Viking Norse religion
this
you know
is
what I'm
saying, though.
Yeah.
Should we be mad if they've been doing this since the beginning? Because you're right. Idris Elba was in the first Thor movie, and he was black.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I think you know when it's gotten to be gratuitous, like, you know when it's not serving. Like, in other words, it wasn't the mere fact that they were doing the race swaps. It was also that they were like virtue signaling behind it. You know, like every interview was about, look at what we're doing, look at how diverse we are, and this and that. And these are characters that have been around forever. So when you start to see it, it's like I was saying in a lot of my videos, they turned us into novelties, gimmicks, you know? And after a while, we started catching strays because of that. Like the regular, like, black people, you know, because it seemed like we were just out here, like we were the ones that's doing it. You know, like ignorant people were putting that on us. Why can't they make their own characters? Why they have to steal everything from us? You know what I mean? It's like we're sitting out here in the audience just like everybody else. You know what I mean? So it just got to the point where it was just too much.
Bro, if they do this, if they do this,
no,
you gonna see.
No. You know who's Fatal. You're wrong. They're not going to do that with Harry Potter. Hermione is going to be black. I guarantee you she's going to be black. See, here's the thing. Back when they did this, which Mark, you put up a good point. You say like they made us like novelties and stuff like that, and it's always about the message. So right now, when they're doing this, it's not about just this might be the best person for the job. You can't tell me this might be the best person for the job all the time. That can't be your excuse all the time. Like in regards to like Snape right now, right? Because you pulled this up. Why would you do that when they literally just had the movie that's not that old and they have Snape as white? So why would you do that other than to push a message? And that's where the race swapping is stupid, because they're doing it specifically to cause division. While before,
I agree.
Like you said, Mark, you said that, look at what we're doing now. We're doing all this stuff now. There's black people doing stuff back in the day. You ain't doing nothing new. What I say, this is 2006 they did this. So you ain't doing nothing. All this, we need to see ourselves. We were seeing ourselves before. But you didn't have to put a message on top of it. That's what the problem is now. So now, unfortunately, I got to push back on it because they're doing it for the wrong reasons. If you were doing it for the right reasons, I would be, okay, maybe. But every time I see a black Snape, every time I see Falcon America and all this stuff, and you can't recast a freaking original black character in T'Challa, you lost me. You lost me. You got a character that is black, originally black, and you can't give us that character, but you got to give us Falcon America. You got to give us Black Snape. That's why I had the problem. When it's almost like you're talking out of two sides of your mouth. Whatever, you know what I'm saying?
I mean, you gotta look at it like this, man. Like you said, we can't get Black Panther. We can't get Black Panther. They messed up Blade. It's like there are honest black characters who are out here with motivations that actually are credible, that make sense. Like what we were saying with Falcon, you know, Black Captain America, the way he is now. We have no motivation for this character. There's no reason why you would feel this character. You know what I mean? So it's like we are not all equal. We're not all interchangeable, even if you take away the race part of it. You know what I'm saying? So you just can't shut down a character or take an actor out of a role, slip another actor in the role, and it's a perfect fit. You know what I mean? It's like sometimes you got to be able to find the character. You have to be honest with the character. And you know, what are you doing, Fatal?
No, I had to fix myself. I pause. It was blurry. So I had to make it refocus.
Oh, I got you, bro.
Did you focus on the camera?
But you know, you gotta look at things like that, man. It's so important, you know, because if they're going to talk the talk about how diverse we are and everything, then you have to be able to have characters that are more than two-dimensional, you know, and they just can't do that if you think you can just take a white guy out of a role and just put a black guy in the role with the same name. Correct. And be the same character. It's an insult. Is what it is.
Because we know they're gonna bring it back. Like we know Avengers Doomsday or whatever is gonna bring back Chris Evans. We know this.
The only thing I'm worried about that is they're gonna bring
painful. Go ahead.
Oh, they're gonna probably bring it back as Hydra America too. That's what they're gonna do.
But the painful thing about it is, if you're Anthony Mackie, is the knowledge that when they do bring back Chris Evans, people will cheer. They will cheer for him as Captain America. And never before. And look, Anthony Mackie, your services are no longer required. You might want to run that shield back. You know what I mean? All that talk you was talking, you know, that's it.
And just to bring back what I was thinking about earlier, when you say how you can't just interchange them, think about something when you think about Steve Rogers, right? So he was, I know that's a bit of a retcon, but you know he's a 4F soldier from Brooklyn, skinny kid, he had a heart of gold, and you know his heroism wasn't the fact that he had the soldier serum; it was him. That it was him that was the soldier inside. Like in the way the doctor says, it takes what you have inside and amplify it. And it wasn't just the fact that he was, a super soldier that attracted Captain Carter, right? She actually started liking him when he was frail, and then when he became, when he became Captain America, that just put her over the moon, right? So you had that connection, just that simple thing with the love interest in him that gives him something that he wants to be somebody he wants to be with. It's something they didn't even explore with Falcon. Like, where's his love? You mentioned that before. That was an excellent point you mentioned. That where's his love interest? That's what connects us to other humans. Is our connections?
Doesn't matter.
Especially what's that?
It doesn't matter. Peace, Abu. By the way, Abu's bouncing.
But, take it easy, bro.
Much love, man. See you on the next one, man. Get up here.
Yeah,
but, check it out though. It's like this is it right here. Demayo and I, tomorrow on your channel, rename your channel Drunk 3PO. All right. You are going to be Drunk 3PO from now on. Whenever you start your videos, hey, this is Jay. You just start the video, you know what I mean? Like, in order for you to do this, like, you are now Black Drunk 3PO. You know what I mean? In order for you to do that,
I got to get like 6 feet tall too.
Well, see, there you go. You would have to give up everything that makes you individually who you are.
Yeah,
all right.
Correct.
Like when I watch Spell Broken live, I know I'm going to be hearing the song of the day. I'm going to be hearing all that stuff, all the things that are uniquely you. Yeah. You would have to give that up. You know what I mean?
Correct.
So how is this empowering what they're trying to say? To take a previous another character and slip it in there and give up everything that made that character unique. You know what I'm saying?
I'll give you one even better, Mark. Where's Falcon's movie? Where's his origin story? They didn't even give you that. You know what I'm saying? They didn't even give you that. I know. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. You didn't get his origin story. You didn't get what makes him tick. What's his dreams, his aspirations. You don't have anything. Oh, you just here, try on the shield. You're Captain America now without the super soldier. By the way,
they tried. They tried to give it to you with this show. Pause. They tried to give it to you with this one. That was his origin story.
I don't see how.
No, it's not. This is after
he's been in how many movies?
Be.
How many movies has he been in?
How many movies has he been in?
Hey, he's been in a lot of movies, man. I don't think he's been laid yet on screen. I don't think he's had no love interest. He's had no
You know what? Are you talking about in Marvel or in general?
I'm talking about in the MCU.
In the MCU, yeah. So his first appearance was what?
He been in a lot, but he didn't matter. He was in a lot of.
But I know that's my point. That's what I'm trying to say. In Winter Soldier, he was just like a side character. They didn't even. I don't even remember when did they give him his damn wings. When did that happen? It's like everything is glossed over.
He got his wings. Didn't he get his wings in Winter Soldier? That's when we first saw him.
No, we saw him, but I don't think he had the wings yet. I think he got the wings. He had the wings. No, it had to be the next one.
See, this is the thing about it, D. He didn't matter so much in that movie. We forgot he was in that movie.
It's sad, bro. It's sad. They believe in no character development whatsoever for their black characters.
Just swap them black. Oh, yeah, that's it. That's it, yeah. Now, and by the way, we're hopping off a different franchise, but just when we put up the Harry Potter thing, I'm not a big Harry Potter fan, but from what I understand, the relationship between Snape and Harry's father was not a good one. Stuff like hanging him from trees, calling him a mudblood, all the stuff like that. Dude, how are you going to do this now that he's black? What are you doing?
You gave yourself all these problems you didn't need to give yourself.
Why? Why would you do that? No. That is so stupid. That's my point. I'm saying you can't just palette swap people and then thinking it's gonna be, oh, he's black. You guys should be happy. You should be happy now.
The only thing I've come to the conclusion of I don't heard Mark, I don't heard Callis say it. It's to cause division, bro.
Oh yeah,
Yes, that is true.
absolutely. And
100%.
unfortunately, guys, it is working. You know what I mean? 'Cause
Oh yeah, it's working.
There's way too many simple people out here who's I swear to God, bro. It's like sometimes I really do think about just getting off of X because I'm just tired, man.
It's
Every
bad.
day,
It's bad in there. It's bad.
You can't
100%.
scroll for anything without seeing insult upon insult upon insult. And it's like it's not even just going white to black. It's like you got black people who swear white people, white this, white that. You know what I mean? It's just way too much back and forth where it didn't used to be. It didn't used to be like that, you know. So obviously what they're doing is working as far as the division is concerned.
I definitely agree. Now this right here is the 7 MCU films Sam Wilson appeared on. Listen up, D. Captain America: The Winter Soldier in 2014.
That was you were right. That was the first one.
What up, Prime?
He showed up. What up, Prime? He showed up in Avengers: Age of Ultron. Remember, he was at the party scene. Remember the party scene?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So he got his wings then, because he did he fight?
No, bro. He had his wings in Winter Soldier.
Okay.
You don't remember? He just looked trash. He looked very trash in the movie. Let me pull up the picture, man. But let me finish reading. Okay, so he showed up in Ant-Man. Remember, he was fighting Ant-Man at the Avengers headquarters.
I remember that. That I remember. I remember
that. Captain America: Civil War, of course, he gonna ride with Steve Rogers.
Mm-hmm.
He was in Avengers: Infinity War.
That makes sense.
Remember, I always thought this was like really crazy. Remember in Captain America: Civil War, what did Stark do to Falcon?
I can't even remember.
Y'all the Marvel heads, how did y'all forget this?
Because it doesn't matter. That's why. Look, everything. Look, let me just. You just said you hit that on the head, Fed. You said we didn't remember because it doesn't matter. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 movies that he was featured in. None of them was his origin story. None of them gave you his dreams or aspirations. None of them built the character up, and yet he's Captain America in his 7th film. That is the problem. That's the problem.
It's the dumbest thing in the world, man. They looking at him talking about what's up, Cap. He's not Cap, bro. Stop it.
Just watch this.
In no reality.
Just watch this. Just look how they do him like he ain't nothing. Watch this.
I'm sorry.
Right. Remember that. Yes.
Like he ain't nothing.
Mm-hmm.
I want to watch that one more time. I do, bro. It's crazy. I want to see this one more time.
Target is thruster. Turn him into a glider.
Fair use, YouTube. Fair use.
Oh, that's what I forgot. Rhodey got hit. That's what happened. That's how he broke his back.
Really? It's only a flying dead stick.
Pause. Black man. Let's continue.
Wow. Splat.
Get that ground hard.
Read vitals.
Heartbeat detected. Emergency medical is on its way.
Sorry.
Like he was a rag dog.
Yo, do you think Don Cheadle or Terrence Howard was the better War Machine or better Rhodey?
Better Rhodey?
Good question.
I like Terrence.
Do you think that
he
if
looked
Terrence
more like
Howard had
Rhodey
continued
anyway.
in the role, he would have been stronger in that role? I think he would have been.
Yeah.
No disrespect to the Cheadle. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
But
I mean, when you look at Rhodey in the comics, Terrence Howard looked like him from the comics. That's.
I like Terrence Howard. I do, but Don Cheadle is just as equally a top tier actor. I just think we look at Don Cheadle different because the recast was so obvious. You know what I mean? They didn't even make him look like.
Yeah, that is true.
If it would have started with Don Cheadle, it would have been dope all the way through. But I think you just look at that.
You know where I disagree with that? No, you know what, Kai? That's it. Terrance looks more military. He has a stronger presence, bro. He really does. It's like I could see him actually heading his own movie as War Machine. Cheadle, I could not see that, bro. I can't see him carrying that character. Like Terrence Howard would be more of a leading man type. He's got a little bit more swag to him. You know, give him a love interest, whatever, he could sell it. Cheadle, I can't see that, bro.
Yeah.
No disrespect to the Cheadle. I do like him. You know, he's been.
I just said I didn't like him. I think Terrence Howard was a better Rhodey. He looked like Rhodey from the comics.
But y'all know what the problem was, right? Did y'all know why he got?
Because he wanted more. Because at that time he was technically a bigger star than Robert Downey Jr. And he wanted more money.
A lot of people didn't know this.
Yeah.
For Iron Man 1, he was making more than RDJ.
Yes, I'm pretty sure he was because he was a bigger star then. Not anymore.
That's damn greedy though.
At some point,
if he would have just stayed calm,
he could have made money on the back end. He could have made money on the back end. That's what most of them do. You gotta put that in your contract.
Bro, if he would have stayed firm, pause, he could have been RDJ level.
He could have been.
Yeah.
He could have been.
Yeah.
He's got
but
the range,
you know what's
bro.
crazy though? You know what's crazy though? I think that kind of was a blessing in disguise for him because he's one of those type of people, kind of like
that fool crazy.
Yeah, Mark, you know what I'm talking about. You know Noriega, right? Capone Noriega back in the day. So
I know about Capone and Noriega. I listen.
Okay. Listen, I know you're the youngster here. I'm just saying.
Bro, I listened to the war report. I got the war report, bro.
My point being is Noriega has said because Capone. The reason why you ain't see Capone because his stupid ass kept getting locked up. But anyway, Noriega was like, "Yo, after Capone, after CNN and all that happened, and then when he did Nori, he says the reason he kind of like capped out there because you get that call, and it's essentially that Diddy call, right? And you gotta either you're gonna go with the Diddy call or you don't, and you don't go hide in there. And Terrance is the type because I think he was on Rogan, and he was talking about how they gave him that call too. And he didn't take that call. And so I think that's kind of why it was a blessing in disguise that he didn't go further with this because he didn't strike me as the type because he even said, yo, you won't catch me doing any, Skittle scenes, none of that. He said that. He said he ain't doing none of that. What they call it, the humiliation ritual type stuff. He said he ain't doing none of that. Right?
He said Diddy.
Yeah.
He said Diddy invited him.
Exactly.
But listen to this, D. So he said Diddy invited him to the crib. Okay? Because he said Diddy said, I want acting lessons. Okay?
Yeah.
He said when Diddy invited him to the room, he said him and Diddy was in a room by themselves. And he said when Diddy got in the room, this how he was looking at him with no words.
Stop.
Bro, I'm not lying. He said that.
Yeah. No, I saw it. That's what he said.
Yeah, so this is exactly what I'm saying. I think it's kind of a blessing for him not to get that Rhodey continuation because I don't know. Because listen, Hollywood is Sodom and Gomorrah. Okay, y'all have to know that. Hollywood is that's
it's terrible.
It's over. It's the stuff they do to each other, the stuff they do to kids. It's crazy. You know what I'm saying? So I listen. That's one of the reasons why I'm glad like myself. I never really got into like the hip hop like I really wanted to because I know it's crazy. It's crazy,
bro. It's a blessing, bro.
It turns out it ain't what we thought it was.
Yeah, man.
Oh man.
A lot of these dudes, they wearing dresses for a reason. These rappers,
bro. You know what's crazy? Do you remember y'all remember Onyx, right? You know, Sticky, he took a picture in the dress. Just so y'all, I don't know if you ever seen that.
Bro, that's the initiation ritual.
Exactly. That's the point I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah.
He there's pictures of Sticky in the dress, bro. I remember back when I was coming up in the game, I heard about that.
Bro,
I'm like, bro,
you can Google it. All the top rappers wore dresses. Snoop, Jay-Z, Kanye West, all them joints. They wore dresses.
And that's just what they did that you saw. You know, there's just so much else that went on. You know, and that's why it's as messed up as it is right now. You know, hip hop is, I mean, in a lot of ways, popular hip hop is dead. Popular.
Yes,
hip-hop.
You got to go underground, or you got to stay old school. That's the only way you're going to get legitimate. You know, that actual boom bap. You know what I'm saying? That's where you're going to.
The only problem is popular hip hop is all they're selling to the kids. They have access to that.
Exactly.
You know, so it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy.
All right, fellas, I'm gonna tell you what else is a self-fulfilling prophecy when it comes to trash. Marvel Fantastic Four. Now, check this out right here. I know Mark, D, y'all big Marvel fans. I'm a Marvel fan too, you know, but this is kind of disheartening when I read this. Let me read it. This is from the actor who's playing Johnny Storm in the new Fantastic Four movie that's coming out in July. So Joseph Quinn, and if you're not familiar with Joseph Quinn, you might have seen him in Stranger Things on Netflix. Joseph Quinn addresses how his portrayal of Human Torch would differ from Chris Evans' version. And I don't know why they say Chris Evans' version, because this is Johnny Storm, period, his character. He was branded, now this is Joseph speaking. He was branded as the womanizing, devil may care guy. But is that sexy these days? I don't think so. This version of Johnny is less callous with other people's feelings. This movie gonna be trash, huh?
It really is, because I mean, like I said, for a lot of us, we were out with Pedro Pascal as Reed Richards. Obviously, that's not Reed Richards. So, but you know, for the sake of the movie, we were gonna overlook that. You know, it's like we saw The Thing not sounding like The Thing. We're gonna overlook that, you know. But it's just looking like every character is not who they're supposed to be.
Correct.
In the Fantastic Four, the earliest comics, Johnny Storm is, you know, he's a hothead. You know, he loves the ladies. That's part of what it is. And if you're going back to the 60s, that's the way it was supposed to be. You know what I mean? It's like you're trying to bring your sensibilities, your present day sensibilities, and place it into the 60s with a character that was built on that.
That's a great point, Mark. You got to think back in the 60s, man, it was hardcore with masculinity back then. I mean, I'm talking about back then, it was shut up and fix me something to eat. You know?
Yes. That's the thing, man. You know, these things are always like at the ready for me. You know, my Marvel Masterworks.
Hold on. And I love those, bro. Mark, man, you dope for that, bro. I got me some Marvel Masterworks. If don't nobody know what Marvel Masterworks is, it's the Golden Age Marvel comics, and they clean them up. They clean them up, make them look. They pop out the colors, they pop out the lettering. It's amazing stuff. Go get you some Masterworks. Keep going,
absolutely. Mark. But that's the way he was presented in the comics. And like I said, if you're going to be in the 60s, then you have to make allowances for that. Like in other words, Sue Storm does not look like that in the 60s. You know, and as a matter of fact, the Fantastic Four came out in 1961. So you were still fresh off of the 50s. You know, so you're talking about June Cleaver. You know, you're talking about that kind of thing. You know, that's the way Sue Storm was. You know, she was very much mousy. You know, she was in awe of Reed Richards. You know, every time she talked about him, she would call him darling. You know, stuff like that. She didn't know how to use her powers. He had to tell her when to use her powers. Once again, you're sacrificing great character development because Sue does turn into a strong woman, but that's after going through some things. But when you first meet her, she shouldn't be the way she's being presented here. And Johnny is supposed to be brash. He's supposed to be all these things.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
you're not leaving room for character development, bro.
That's the key words right there, Mark. Character development. Because they want to skip. What did we just say? They want to skip all of the Marvel stuff that we have growing up from the 50s, 60s, and 40s, even with DC, the 20s. And then come to the 2012 version. They're skipping. When they do that, it's not that they're just going to the Disney stuff and saying we give you all new different Marvel, whatever. They are giving you all the stuff without those decades of character development. Miss Marvel, the Carol Danvers, had some serious, and she got freaking basically comatose by Rogue. You skip all that stuff by making her Captain Marvel.
And this is great storytelling.
And then don't get me, yeah, 100%. Like, I mean, Carol Danvers had like some serious stuff happen to her. Like, she had a situation with some SA, all that stuff that happened to her because she was vulnerable at the time. Like after Rogue took her powers away, she had some issues. She had issues, right? Obviously she got her back, but Rogue took a toll on her because she held onto her until she was unconscious. That's what Rogue did to her, and that's another thing. I wish we got a proper Rogue, Marvel, proper Rogue. Anyway, the other thing,
I hope they do the S-Man right because this Fantastic Four is not doing it for me, man.
No. So you mentioned how Johnny Storm was a hothead. Do you know who his polar opposite was? Who was kind of also a hothead? Iceman. Iceman was the opposite of him. He was also a ladies' man. And what does Marvel do? They made Bobby Drake freaking Skittles.
Yeah, because
not even like, oh, maybe he's bi, whatever. No, they went, oh no, he's straight up Skittles. We went from you want to talk about changing a character, bro?
I remember Bobby was
crazy.
the first. I remember Bobby was the first Skittle Marvel character. He was the first.
No, he wasn't.
No, that would have been North Star from Alpha Flight.
Yes,
that's right.
North Star.
That's right.
Yep.
Yeah.
But okay, North Star was you right from Alpha Flight. But
the Bobby thing is recent. That was only after 2012. Like I said, 2012 was the death of Marvel Comics because that's
the beat said North Star
started changing everything.
Hey, and you know what?
Yeah.
Speaking on Alpha Flight, people don't like Alpha Flight, but I thought Alpha Flight was a dope team. I like that roster.
I thought they were a good team too. Yeah,
they were great.
That's just like
I even like them without Wolverine because they like to add Wolverine to the crew.
I think because he's Canadian. He's a Canadian team.
Well, I think he started with Alpha Flight first before he got with S-Man. If I'm not correct.
No, he technically was Weapon X. He was technically Weapon X. Yeah, but
one of the first big comic deaths I remember was it Vindicator or Guardian? I can't remember what his name was back then, but the way he died, I remember it was issue number 12. And I remember the cover was "And One Shall Surely Die" because I remember me and my friends went running to the comic shop to find out, but it was the way he died was very non-comic-y. Like that was John Byrne who was writing and drawing that, and I had to give him all types of credit because I didn't see it being that way. You know what I mean? It was a really cool story.
Mark, I know you said John Byrne is one of your favorite artists, and he one of my favorite artists too. Do you know he's still drawing S-Man to this day?
I didn't know that. I'm glad to hear it. I didn't know that.
Hold on, man. I gotta pull it up for you, man.
I thought he had retired, bro, because that's how long it's been since I've been collecting.
I'm just to pull it up. John Byrne is still doing S-Man, and it's called Elsewind. And he doing such a banging job drawing it that Marvel is offering him millions to buy it from him. But John Byrne don't like what Marvel is doing so much that he said no. He said, I'm gonna keep it free. It's all free online. He said people enjoy. He said, but I will not sell it to Marvel because they're going to ruin it. I'm supposed to show you Elsewind. This is one of the covers to Elsewind. Now it's not colored, but this is one of the covers to it right here. And he's doing a banging job. I mean, this dude.
So how's he able to do this and not own it? Like how's
because it's free.
Oh, because it's free. Okay, got you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna need a link for that later because I
will need a link to that.
I've been reading.
That does look good. That looks good, man.
You know
what it kind of reminds me of? It kind of has like that manga look because manga's always black and white.
Man, John Byrne is cold, man.
Remember, he did an excellent run on Superman too. Remember, like back in the day.
Yeah. If you notice, all the greats have dabbled in Marvel and DC. You know.
Oh yeah, they bounce back and forth.
Yeah. But let's go to because we only got 10 minutes left of the show. Let's focus on Sue Storm, the actress Vanessa Kirby, what she had to say about this character. Now it says Sue Storm political work will be showcased in the Fantastic Four film. This is what she says. Sue has accomplished just as much in the political realm. As head of the Future Foundation, a concept taken from writer Jonathan Hickman's 21st Century Fantastic Four comics, one of the successful stories that is beloved by fans as Lee and Kirby's originals. She has helped achieve global demilitarization and peace. When Shackman and his collaborators say the dreams of the 60s has been made real in the movie, they don't just mean rocket ships. Now, this is her talking. If he is the most scientifically intelligent person, then she is the most emotionally intelligent person on the planet. Now, I think Shackman is the director of this film. Shackman says of Reed and Sue, between the two of them, they're building an idealistic society. Now, what you guys think about that?
I still hate Pedro Pascal as Mr. Fantastic. That's what I got from all that. Because all I heard was blah, blah, blah message. That's all I heard after that.
Some of these
That's all I heard after that.
Some of these code words, keywords is kind of got me because
I know. That's what I'm saying. I heard blah, blah, blah the message. That's what she's saying.
It's almost like they trying to make her better or equal. And there's nothing wrong with being equal, but Marvel equal is different from the reality of equal. Because it says if he is the most scientifically intelligent person, then she is the most emotionally intelligent person on the planet.
That don't even make sense. Emotional and intelligent.
Reed Richards is a leader.
I agree.
Reed Richards is a leader. He's not just scientifically, or he's not just the intelligence of the group. He's also the moral center of the group as well. There have been many storylines where it was about morality, and he was a leader in their realization of what was the best thing to do. It wasn't, of course, until later, like what you're talking about, D. It wasn't until later, after she became Malice, after all the things that she went through, that they tried to force her into more of a leadership role, but by that time it almost felt a little bit natural because the comic by that time it was almost like 40-50 years old, what I mean? But in the beginning, Reed was that indisputable leader, and he was that also, in a lot of ways in Secret Wars, what I mean? And Peter Parker went to him a lot of times, for advice and guidance, So I don't see how Pedro Pascal can carry that. Like when you see him in the teasers, he literally looks out of place. Like he doesn't know what to say. He looks awkward, and she's taking the lead. In the 60s, that was impossible. It never happened.
Yes, it wouldn't have happened.
She never would have fallen in love with somebody like that. Sue Storm would, Yeah,
because we're doing modern Marvel, like you say. They're skipping over everything and giving us modern Marvel and skipping all of the character development. Those are some very powerful words you said there before. It's character development. That is what they're missing, and they're going to skip all over that to give us a modern day Sue. That's just going to happen. That's just definitely going to happen.
That's what I think will happen, bro.
And that's one thing too. When they say equals, if you wanna go by like thousands of years of evolution or whatever, a man and woman are supposed to be whole, and they're supposed to complement each other. It's not about being each other's same. It's about complementing others. Like, it should be she should be able to complete what he doesn't do, and he completes what she
That's it.
doesn't do.
That's
That's
it.
what it's supposed to do. It's not supposed to be a competition. That's not what it's supposed to be.
I hope this ain't graphic, but the man is supposed to be the key, and the woman is supposed to be the keyhole.
Okay. No. I'm with you. No.
Fatal went all the way there.
But I'm just saying that's how it should be.
Yeah.
Both need each other, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And one is
Absolutely.
not better than the other. Now, let's check this out before we hop on the last topic. Pause. But which one you pick? Which one is looking best so far? The 2005 roster? The 2015 roster? Or the 2025? Well, look what we got here.
Huh?
Hey.
Sorry, I'm
Look
late.
at that smile on Mark's face. Like he just went straight up cheesing. Straight up cheesing. I love it. Listen, Lorena, that post you put up where you say when you walk by and you catch people looking, that's me.
It's like okay, you know, so I can have stuff to think about when I'm in the old folks' home, you know.
Man. Listen, like Lorena, like I'll do the Devo. Like when Lorena walks by, I like I'm not looking, but when she leave, I start looking again.
Now we were just breaking down the Fantastic Four. Lorena, what you think about this film so far, especially since the news we got this week, where it's pretty much talking about where Johnny Storm is not going to be Johnny Storm in this film. Sue Storm is going to be a typical Marvel MCU character. What are your thoughts? You still have hope for this film or what?
No, I hate this freaking film. I really do, because they did two things that I cannot forgive them for. One, basically making Sue Storm some kind of, I don't know, girl boss feminist, apparently, because the actress, I don't know if it's between the actress and also the screenplay, saying that women in the 60s were doormats.
Mm-hmm.
Out of all of the Fantastic Four comics that I have read, doormat is not the word that I would ever use for Sue Storm. So that tells me I think they're going to try making her, not try, they probably are, making her head of the Fantastic Four. I'm so sick of that darn trope. I'm tired of it. I do not want to see that. I don't know why they think it appeals to women. If they do, they have no idea why the other MCU movies were successful as they were. Second thing, and this is the most egregious offense, that they basically are emasculating Johnny Storm. I never had a problem with Johnny Storm. I remember Chris Evans saying, I need names and shots. That was Johnny Storm in a nutshell. And for some reason, I don't know, I guess the writers, I guess they got bullied, they got picked on, I guess they didn't get the hot girl or whatever, I don't know. But it seems that they love to make the male Marvel characters into women. If I want to see a movie about women, I'll go watch a chick flick. That is not why I watch MCU movies.
Yeah.
Amen. And I'll say this too about Johnny Storm. You know, when I first started reading the Fantastic Four as a child, I didn't like him because the Thing was my favorite character. And if you remember, Johnny Storm used to be relentless on the Thing. Like he would get on him about his looks. You know, he would just he would tear him down. But once again, character development. The Human Torch and the Thing ended up being great partners, great friends. They would die for each other, but that had to be through the course of time, you know? So it's like, you got to let these characters breathe, man. You got to let them grow. You just can't be like, oh, him being a womanizer, that's not sexy today in 2025. You know, we're talking about the 60s, man. You got to be true to that.
I want y'all to be honest. I've never felt these suits. I thought Marvel could do a lot better. And I know maybe they trying to go the 60s route, but still. This just, I don't know.
I still say the Thing just looks incredibly too small. I know it's supposed to be more comic accurate, but he should be towering over them at minimum. That's how I feel. Because I know he's not supposed to. But when you talk about
Mark like this character
he
short.
He should be. Look, if you're gonna change anything, make the thing look kind of jacked and bigger than everybody else. That's all. That's the only thing. That would be the only caveat I would give him to let to say, "Hey, you're gonna change something." But to me, it looks too uniform to me. Like I don't know.
They look like they going skiing.
Yeah. I cannot stand Pedro as Reed. I can't stand
I
him.
can't either. He's in everything, and I know. Nah,
they just announced some new movie he's going to be in. It's ridiculous, bro. This dude.
I think Marvel is in bad shape. I mean, yeah, they still making money, but I think story-wise, they bankrupt. And I think that's why we get this Avengers movie so fast, even though we don't know who the freak the Avengers are right now. And the fail-safe is, okay, if Thunderbolts bomb, then we know we'll get the world with Avengers Doomsday.
No, you won't.
But you know the funny thing is that they're not bankrupt. It's like with Star Wars. You know, there were so many stories that they could have drawn from the EU, you know, and everything. Like I was just paging through, and I was just thinking about the iconic fight between the Thing and the Hulk. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's like that was a great story, man, and it showed the spirit of the Thing. You know how he knew he was beat, the whole team was beat, but he knew he couldn't give up. You know, so he kept going back, even though the Hulk was killing everybody, man. I mean, beating everybody down. You know, but it just showed the fighting spirit of the team. Johnny was knocked out, but he saw on the TV that the Thing was going up against the Hulk. And even though he was messed up, he was like, I can't let him down. I gotta go. You know what I mean? So it's like all of that stuff is just so dramatic and so crucial to how they come together as a team. You know, all of this, you're late for dinner. None of that shit was in the comic. You know what I mean? Yeah. They came together as a family, as a trial by fire, the things that they had been through. You know, half the beginning, the first comics, they weren't even getting along for a lot of those comics. They had to find their way to each other, you know, through the things that they had been through.
Brother
you
Man,
know, and that's what I really wanted to see.
Brother Man said clearly this new age era has no imagination nor creativity. You got to go against the mainstream, not conform.
That's true. Yeah. You guys hear Anthony Mackie's quote saying that the new Avengers Doomsday is going to get back to that MCU storytelling.
And that's stupid.
Why did it leave? Why did it leave?
Yeah, that's you just telling on yourself, you idiot.
Mm-hmm. And they keep talking about Avengers Doomsday. They keep talking about it. It's like, just shoot the freaking movie. Just shoot the movie. That's it. Shut up and shoot the movie. We don't want to hear about what you did. We don't want to hear about, you know, Robert Downey Jr., what he thinks about it. We don't care. But you keep seeing these articles, which makes me think, I don't think this is going to turn out the way they think.
Normally, they're literally just throwing stuff out there, you know, and just seeing what sticks, because they got like so many people that's supposed to be in this movie. If just one of them doesn't show up, it's going to be like, you're sitting there waiting for your favorite and he doesn't show up. You know what I mean? So it's like your announcements are a distraction in themselves. You know, like you said, just shoot the movie. God forbid we have some surprises about who shows up, you know, and what they do. But, you know, they're shooting themselves in the foot by doing it this way. You know what I mean? Like remember in the beginning, we got individual movies where they were able to develop their characters. So, and they took their time with it. So when they did come together, it felt like something special because you've already followed these people. You already knew this one character. How is he going to play off of that character? You know, like that was part of the excitement.
At the end of the day, this is supposed to be a so-called leak, even though I know it's fake. But
who that?
That's supposed to be Robert Downey Jr. in the Doom suit. But
what?
This is
what?
It's probably fake, but my point is this though. You had a slew of great actors out there that could have played Dr. Doom, and you went with RDJ, and what that shows me is you desperate.
Yeah.
Yep.
Desperate.
killed my buzz. I'll tell you that.
So you mean when I held back?
That man.
You mean when I held back tears? I'm trying not to be a biatch in front of my wife. When I see Stark die, that was all for nothing.
I was screaming in the theater. I really was when that happened.
Yeah.
You know, that was a moment. That was a moment.
They didn't technically. Don't get me started. They shouldn't have killed him off anyway. I know it was supposed to be like his whole character arc, and then he returns to Earth. I get it, but you knew, like you had to have known this was not going to work without them. You had to have known that. I mean, you got people out there who make a lot of money, and they try to do all these marketing tactics, all stuff. You should have known you're not going very far without Robert Downey Jr., without Chris Evans, without Chris Hemsworth. You need the Avengers. Now, we understand people are going to age out of this. I get that. Right. I know that is the conundrum that we have, that they're going to age out of it. Because when you talk about like the comics, you know, Spider-Man been around since the 60s, and for the way they calculated is for every 4 years in the real world, that's 1 year for them, right? So you can have Peter Parker being Peter Parker from now until like whatever, right? You can do that. But you can't do that in real life. We understand that. So what do you do? How do you fix that problem? You don't kill off the character and have him come back and say he's Dr. Doom now. That's not how you do it.
Yeah. I mean, I thought that after Endgame, they were just going to chill and start over a different time. I mean, it kind of reminded me of if you saw Star Trek, I believe it was The Undiscovered Country, maybe.
Yeah.
I think that might have been it. The way that it ended is that it ended with all of them autographing the screen. Like, you know, like that was the final scene was, you know, William Shatner, Leonard Nimoy. And I was just like, bravo. You know, thank you. Thank you for all of your years. Thank you for your entertainment. Leonard Nimoy, I love you so much. And I miss him. I really do. But, you know, I was just feeling like, okay, so we're closing the book on the original crew. And they paid their dues. You know, I mean, damn, they were going for how long? You know? So I figured it was going to be the same thing with Marvel. You know, they're going to age out, like you were saying. You know, they did their thing. We had a great run, a great ride. Now let's just let it, you know, just chill for a while and then bring it back some kind of way to like with a reboot or something. You know what I mean? With recasting.
But Mark, you forgot they're greedy biatches. They're greedy.
Yeah.
Man, you see that you just made the #1 movie of all time, the highest selling movie of all time. They're not going to stop. That's not how those rich bastards operate. You know what I mean?
The worst thing they ever did, Fatal, was go to Disney Plus and come up with these shows. You know what I mean?
That was terrible.
Because, if
I
they
agree.
stayed in the movies, they might have actually kept some type of you know, standard or something.
I agree.
But it was just too much.
To this day, and I kid you not, and I'm not trolling nothing, it's not a single Disney Plus Marvel show that I like. Not a single one. Can you guys think of one?
Honestly, what was it? The one with Scarlet Witch kind of had me for a minute, you know?
Yeah, the first part about it.
The first one. Yeah.
That wasn't bad. Up until when they did the reveal.
Yeah, at the end it tanked though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was terrible.
I liked Hawkeye just because it was fun. That was it. I didn't take it seriously.
See, Hawkeye made me go to sleep.
Hawkeye was all right.
I couldn't do it. Hey, last topic of the night, though. This guy right here, to me, man, you know, I was kind of rooting for him, but just doing some research on the situation, I think this guy is just trolling and pervy. The dude is, if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, Beau Demayo, S-Man 97, made a great series. Probably one of the greatest series of last year he created. Writing skills on point. I can't take that away from him. But doing more research on this man, I figured out this man was a perv. Like, he liked to show X-rated pictures of his body and have his body all oiled up and all that type of stuff.
He's a gay thirst trap. He really is.
And
I mean, he looks good, but it's just like, dang, really? We don't need every picture.
But I think he made people uncomfortable on the job. Marvel said, you know what, man, just do that somewhere else, man. You making people uncomfortable, and now he mad. But forget all that. We're gonna read this post right here because maybe it has some gems in it. We're gonna read this and then we're gonna end the show off. Beau Demayo, hashtag Blade is quite simple. Although there's so much more going on than folks realize. And like I said, this is all still tip of the iceberg. IMO at Marvel Studios has unchecked racially problematic and sexist executives who did not protect their black talent or POVs. In one case, outside of my own, fired a black female after a top crew led through their work across the room and shouted, "This is why I hate working with women." This was relayed to me by a black assistant who was scared Marvel took no action, and she relayed by me to an executive who has since been let go. On September 6, 2023, at a brewery off Amanda Boulevard near the studio, along with me reporting black assistants being mocked and my own race and body being mocked by executives on the project. Here you go with the body stuff. I also reported how I've been told that leads were found to witness one female LP being repeatedly belittled and told to shut up by top crew leads in front of Marvel executives. No action taken. I reported notes meetings with executives where I was called Dare Wesley Snipes and jokes was made about my body instead of giving feedback on my work. I reported me and other black crew being told that leads needed to crack the whip to get better results. No action taken outside of Marvel's retaliation campaign against me. And thank God this post is about to end.
No, Lord.
I asked hashtag Marvel to do better. They instead decided to start a fight and use racist and homophobic dog whistles to assassinate my character. It's a fight I intend to finish. And this is the thing about Beau Demayo that I don't like. Because he talks so much and say a lot of nothing.
I didn't understand what he was talking about.
Because you don't know.
You don't know what he's talking about.
You don't know what he's talking about.
He just brings up a lot of right now it's like hearsay. And he repeats the same things over and over again. Yes, I follow him on Twitter because it's a garbage fire. And he'll just throw this stuff out here. Like, pay attention. Don't forget me. Don't forget me. I mean, yeah.
The only reason why I give him some credibility with this is because these sentiments are echoed with, what was it? Ray Fisher, also John Boyega. You know, there's a lot of people who are in the industry. Nia DaCosta, who did the Marvels. You know, I just think that the industry is only interested in diversity as much as they can use it. You know, they don't have much respect, I think, for the creativity of these so-called creatives of color or black creatives. You know, so what he's talking about, I don't doubt that a lot of that happens. You know, his motivation, I don't know anything about that. But from what I've heard, like, I'm paying attention to what other people are saying as well. So I'm not just listening to what he's saying. I'm also putting it into what other people are saying and also what ends up being on the screen, what they're putting into practice, you know, and the fact that I feel disrespected, you know, as a so-called black fan, you know, I feel like we're being used. So I see where, you know, a lot of what he's saying does ring true. Like, I can't speak to his motivations, but, you know, I wouldn't write off a lot of what he's saying. Now, Fatal, you know, on just about every video that I've done, I've called him Beau DeFrico, you know, so it's like, you know, I know this dude, you know, was definitely getting down like how they said he was getting down. I think he was sending pictures that he shouldn't have been sending, all that good stuff. I believe that, but I'm saying I do think there's a problem in the industry for sure.
Now, I 100% agree with you because as somebody who lived out there for 5 years, Hollywood is one of the most racist places you could ever think of. Stuff that they will just come out and say and do. And I don't care what they say about diversity. We're going to put, people of color here, there, and everywhere. They do not give a damn about that. They don't care. That's why, like, when I want to say like late 80s, early 90s, that's when a lot of like Black producers like Spike Lee, like Robert Townsend, like the Hudlin brothers, why they had to start their own production companies because of the crap that was going on in Hollywood. So yeah, so Mark, I agree with you. I don't like doubt any of the stuff that he's saying about what happened, racist wise or whatever with Marshall. I don't doubt that at all. I'm just kind of like, dude, sometimes may not just spurge out every day, every other day.
Yeah.
Here's a picture of me at the gym. Here's a picture of me half naked. Okay, let me go back. It's like eventually you need to just cut the noise down and get down to business about exposing these people.
Yeah. Because honestly, and this is something I'm going to be talking about. I want to do a video because it's too late for us to talk about this now. But I thought there was something very interesting that Kelly Marie Tran said in her latest statement. I'm going to be building
Mark,
on that.
It's like you read. Mark, I swear, Mark is reading my mind. I'm about to pull this up real quick too.
Yeah. Oh,
Mark, let me read it real quick.
There's a lot there.
Mark, read it. I'm gonna read it real quick, and then the thoughts is gonna go to you. So Kelly Marie Tran says, I was persecuted by racist Star Wars fans.
Here we go again.
It's interesting.
What?
Hold on.
Hold on, guys.
Hold on. Kelly Marie Tran says, I was persecuted by racist Star Wars fans. It's interesting how it seems to be happening pretty consistently to actors of color who find themselves in these spaces. And I think these occurrences are a microcosm, whatever that word is, for the social climate that we're living in. And it's really unfortunate. We live in a world where these identities have been weaponized so that people are not able to see the bigger picture. I really just want people to recognize it's the system that's the problem. Stop scapegoating people of color or Skittle Nation people or anyone who's different.
I'll give her this.
Okay.
She did have one line in there that made sense. It is the system. It is the system. But the whole racist Star Wars fans is the stupidest thing because once again, it's the same thing. Everybody, even back when they hated Rose Tico, but didn't mind Kelly Marie Tran. She seems like a happy, she's very pretty, very lovely lady. And until now, this is because the whole time before, it was about what Hollywood did to her. Well, it seems kind of funny to me that John Boyega came out with this last week, a couple weeks ago, and now she comes out with it this week. It's like,
you're right, bro.
She has a movie coming out.
Perfect.
But number 2, pay attention to that first line that Variety put out there. Notice what's in quotes and what is not in quotes.
Oh, I love you. Thank you for that, because that's exactly where I was going to go with this. There it is. She didn't say that. She didn't say racist Star Wars fans. She never does. If you look at what's in quotes, to me, she probably said the most impactful thing that she could have said since we've been talking about all of these years. Because it's something that I think all of us have been saying. She's saying that they have taken the idea of diversity and weaponized it. It's the system that's doing this. She's saying, don't lump us in there. This is what we exist for on this panel. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Don't weaponize us. We can speak for ourselves. She used the word weaponized very deliberately, and I respect her for that. Because that's exactly what the problem is. They've taken diversity and they weaponized it. And they've done it to divide the people. We didn't ask for any of this stuff. But
Correct.
For weaker minds, we're catching all the heat for it. The same way that she is. She's saying you got to see the bigger picture. Since I've been doing videos, have I not been saying this is bigger than Star Wars? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? people don't want to hear it because they're not seeing the bigger picture. All they're seeing is the diversity. And so DEI is a joke for everybody. They're not seeing that no one was asking for this. She wasn't asking for it. All she wanted to do was work. She could have easily said it was the racist fans. Until I see that quote, I will never believe that that's what she stands for. And you would think it's been 8 years since The Last Jedi, believe it or not. In all that time that they've been bashing us over the head with Kelly Marie Tran, you have never gotten a direct quote from her talking about it was the racist fans. It was the homophobic fans. She literally said it's the system, but once again, you have the usual talking heads. You go on X, everyone is going at Kelly Marie Tran, even though she didn't say it. You know what I mean? She's challenging you. Look at the bigger picture. See what's going on here.
She right.
Yes.
It's just like what we all say. It's just to cause division by these big corporations.
Yes, and it's getting worse in the way that these people are perceiving issues of diversity, where it didn't used to be. We've been in this space for a long time. It never used to be as bad as it is today, where people will just reject a project just because they see a black face on it or a diverse face on it now. This is for a reason, because this is the way hate groups used to operate. They would always say, they're coming to take what's yours. They're coming to take your women. They're coming to take your jobs. And so what do these people show them? They show us taking their women, taking their jobs. Every other commercial, you see an interracial couple. So for someone who is, for someone who's insecure, which a lot of people are, you're sitting in your living room talking about what are they doing? They are coming for our women. They are coming for our jobs. They are coming for our identities. Every time you turn around, it's a new black face on a previously white character.
Mark,
that's how they used to instigate.
Mark, hold on, you cooking? Because
he's cooking. He's cooking right now.
Hold on, he really cooking because Mark, from what you said when you said they taking our wives, they taking all this our women, you quoted a certain big YouTuber who talking like that.
Remember, I know exactly who you're talking about.
You know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
They starting to talk like that. You know what I mean? And I never thought about it where you said that's how all the hate groups start. That's their foundation. They're taking this from us. They taking this, and then the group, the people that's in that group, the hate and the rage start growing. I never thought about it like
professional agitators. Everywhere you used to turn in the South, that's what you would find. You would find one guy, two guys who would come in and get the town riled up with those talking points. And that's what we have today. That's what's going on today.
They call it provocateurs. Provocateurs. Yes. That's what they call it. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I was going to say, man, that's crazy what you said there. And big shouts to you, Lorena. I was about to go. That's the first time I saw that. But then when you said, look at the quote, and you know what? You're right. And I'm with you, Barb. I don't want it written. I want a video of her saying it, because this written stuff is written by the provocateurs who are trying. Because it's funny when you see, when you pointed that out, Lorraine, you look at the first part, and then when you're looking at what she's saying it's the system. Why would you say the fans in the first part and then change it to the system? Those two are not the same thing. We're not the system. The system is your bosses, Disney, Hollywood, all of them are the system. So why would you say that? Now, guess what Friday's video gonna be on?
and that's that's why I like listening to Mark though, because I'm human. Some things I don't agree with, but most things I do agree with Mark. But one thing I can always say when it comes to Mark, he challenges you to think.
Yeah.
And just me reading that, I would have automatically thought she said racist. And she didn't.
Not in this article.
Think about how many people out there who don't think on a 24/7 basis. Oh man, what is she talking about? Let's get her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For Darth Plato, Kelly Marie Tran, will she be issuing a clarification? She's been going around and around with them with this for ages. you know. And I remember I've done quite a few videos over the years where I would go over her interviews, and she has never said this. You know what I mean? But I think it's a source of frustration for someone who is relatively young, you know, to have your words twisted around. You know, when we make our videos, inevitably, if you're trying to make a point, someone is going to come into your comment section and completely twist your words out of context.
100%.
You know, you have your contrarians. I mean, that's just what they do. You know, you can't chase after everyone. Sometimes the story is just going to be what they want it to be. And she's going up against a whole industry that want it to be this way. Gina Carano found that out. No matter what you say, no matter what you try to clarify, unfortunately, mischief has its own life. And that's the way it goes. You know, you could drive yourself crazy chasing after people, trying to make sure they get your point and they don't misunderstand. Sometimes it just doesn't. People are going to believe what they want to believe, you know, and that's the problem.
There are people still out there. You brought up Gina. There's people still out there who think that she said something abhorrent. You brought up a good point in one of your other videos. I think it was one of your shorts. There are people still out there that think that Kyle Rittenhouse 66 black people. To this day. Like literally the whole trial went through, and to this day, you're still thinking it was black people that he, you know, 66. And I'm like, you're 100% right, and that's people will believe what they want to believe. They'll hear what they want to hear.
The scary thing about it, D, is that you have so-called leaders who are more than happy to let them go on believing that.
Correct.
Because it suits their purposes and their narratives, you know, and they have huge audiences. You know, that's what gets me. You know, when I see people who have millions of followers who are feeding into this destructive narrative, you know, I'm just like, holy crap, man. Do you know what the penalty is in life for misleading people on that level?
I was telling D that before the show started.
Yeah.
And at some point, it's almost like they trap themselves because you don't grow this big audience and you can't really be you no more. You have to feed the fire, which is your audience, you know? But on another note, we're about to end the show. But before I end the show, I'm not going to lie. When I saw this, I was interested. I'm not going to lie. So Abu Nas, somewhere, you might be smoking on a big blunt or something. I don't know what you do, Sam. But you might be smiling when I showed the people this. Let's check this out, though. Fair use, Disney. No. Fair use. Fair use. Damn.
Exciting.
Still don't want to watch it. I mean, cool shootout.
Nope. I mean, it's cool story, bro. Cool story, but I don't deal in Disney Star Wars. I'm sorry.
I mean, it's not something we haven't. That's something we haven't seen before. I mean, the very first Star Wars had them getting away in the Millennium Falcon, and I think it was also we had something similar in the Empire Strikes Back. Also in the first of the sequel trilogy, you know, when they were hijacking and getting away. I mean, it's
you guys remind me of that Dave Chappelle skit when he had that little box and it said "Wrap it up, B," and he was
wrap it up, wrap it up. He
was on top of that woman and he was doing his dude on top of her. And he said, not even close. She said, not even close. You need to wrap it up. Well, on that note, ladies and gentlemen, we are out of here.
Wrap it up, B. We're going to wrap it up now.
Yeah. Do anybody need to promote anything before we get out of here?
Yeah, I'll be at Epic Universe tomorrow evening.
So. Is that open now? It's open or fully now, right?
To pass holders tomorrow. Yes.
Oh.
So I'll be over there, Epic Universe.
Unfortunately, I gotta work. I ain't gonna be able to see that. Sucks.
I'm gonna be all up in Super Nintendo world. Like
listen. I wish those things were close to me, but let me tell you something. It's been terrible up in the Northeast, man. We can't catch a break. We get like a 70 one day, then it goes right back down to 50. I just want to ride my bike.
I've been meaning
it's coming.
I've been meaning to ask Lorena this. Lorena, you turning into the queen of tours, the queen of critics when it comes to these theme parks. Are you getting any deals from companies?
No deals, and frankly, that keeps me honest.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
There you go.
I'm pretty sure they coming though. Them deals is coming.
If they do, I will be completely transparent and say so and so paid for this.
Yeah.
I'll let you know.
It's coming. Anybody else?
As usual, I just want to give a great big old shout out to those who are not among us. We saw Abu in the chat there. Obviously, Jay.
Yes.
You know, Callis, we love you, man. You know what I mean? Just like I said, one of these days we got to do a complete reunion. I would love that. So
birthday falls on May 7th.
Yeah,
that's Can Fatal J bring back the Dark Council crew in its entirety? We'll find out. Same back channel.
Same back channel. Same back time. Yes, we got the I got my regular shows, the Dark I'll say Dark Castle. Spellbroken live on Sunday, and Spellbroken Gaming on Saturday. I'm tripping with my damn times right now. And obviously the regularly scheduled video, which by the way, I will be talking about what we just talked about just now for Friday's video. So make sure you stay tuned to that because I'm gonna go in on that. And with that being said, yeah, that's basically it. Oh, I did do a show with the Force of Light ladies. So if you want to check that replay, that's up.
You also did one with Teresa.
Yes, Teresa. That was a while ago. She did a clip of that. Yeah, that
you was on their channel.
Yeah, I was on their channel. I can't host right now because my hosting is trash right now. I would love to host some shows.
Listen,
I'm not going to get that one part. I'm going to get the whole thing. I'm going to just get the whole thing over.
Bro,
the whole thing.
Get the one part, it'll fix it. Get you an Ethernet Cat 8 cable. It's going to clear all that up until you get your new stuff. They cheap.
Oh, you don't have Ethernet?
Oh, you got a super chat.
Oh yeah, super chat, Fatal.
I'm like Abu Nas. I don't give a damn about no super chats now.
Bro.
I'm just kidding. Dark Plato with the 2. Thank you so much. This is for you. We got Dark Plato with the $2. He said, I'm an unapologetic Fatal J Bird. It's a thing out there where the people in the chat, they want me to come up with a crew. You know how YouTubers
that's actually not bad. That's
you know how YouTubers have their names for their audience. They keep saying they want the Fatal J Birds. I'm gonna see what I can do. You know, I'll see what I can do.
I like that though. I like that. If the chat wants you, got to give it to them, man. You should get a T-shirt with J Birds.
You know what? I got to give the people what they want, brother. Man, thank you so much. Here you go. Brother man with the $10 showing support, Fatal. So thanks and God bless. Brother man, you always supporting people, man. I'm glad to see you in the chat. And I don't know why, but I just want to do this before I end the show.
You got the touch. You got the power. Yeah.
if you go back and watch that movie, bro, they died. It was some brutal deaths in that movie.
Movie messed me up, man.
Man, that stuff messed me up too.
We
And
weren't
think
ready.
about it, they killed off like all the main Transformers. They even killed out Megatron, because what was Megatron's name in that movie? It wasn't Megatron.
No, it was it was Galvatron, right? Was it Galvatron?
Wait, say that again?
Megatron became Galvatron, didn't he?
Yeah, Megatron got upgraded by Unicron. He got an upgrade.
Ah.
And he updated all of the jets. They became the sweeps.
Bro, the way he
remember you had Starscream, all of them. They turned them into
but Starscream had that crown on that cape and said he was the new king, and then the way Megatron killed him. When I was a kid, I was
Galvatron. Galvatron came in. He said, "He's like,
brutal.
he comes in like this. He's like, Megatron, is that you?" He says, "Here's a guess." Boom! He turned him to dust.
Yeah,
bro.
Starscream was always Megatron's bitch. Y'all know that.
Yeah, he was. He's always trying to backstab him every single chance he got.
Every chance.
Yeah. We out of here. Bye.